I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. So I have to bring Spoon on the screen, and he dead ass is wearing a tinfoil cap. Now, UConn lost the game, not because they were trying to lose, because St. John's outplayed them. So, yeah, I bet UConn had lost. I only placed 2 bets tonight. I won the Heat plus 7.5 and lost UConn. That's all I had. UConn St. John's, awesome game, though. That was fun.
Oh, the Heat were 7.5-point dogs. Okay, that puts it into a little bit more context. Okay.
Well, I think it closed at like 5.5. But yeah, I got 7.5. But yeah, they were dogs. But we got like a billion games. How was your guys' night, by the way?
I placed 3 live bets. They all cashed. My super secret system of numbers, but as you would call it. But yeah, besides that, no, nothing as far as official.
Oh, you didn't post anything originally?
Mm-mm.
Spoon, how was your night?
Pretty good night. Went up 2 units. I went 1-1 with the 2 bets I placed last night. Got CLD on both of them. But I got live in on Yale money line, just about even money. That was basically free in my opinion. And then the St. John's money line that I had circled, I got in at 154. I was planning to get in on more if UConn made a run, but UConn didn't show up.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they didn't show up, man. They played pretty well.
I was expecting St. John's to have to come back from behind. Like, I thought UConn would at one point in that game be up by 5 to 10 points.
They wasted a couple possessions down the stretch, but honestly, St. John's made some plays there to keep them from taking the lead back. But we have a billion games to get through, and I added a bunch, not expecting. You guys clicked a lot, which means you guys have a lot of games you like. So I have my phone ready. I'm ready to place some bets. I'm assuming we're about to place a lot of them. We're starting off with Arkansas and Mississippi State, and this is not a game that either of you selected. So we can skip it if you want. I literally have 40 slides, so we do not need to force any if you guys don't want to. Any interest in Arkansas, Mississippi State here?
Not for me. I get the Arkansas off of a loss thing, and I agree with that. And if I had to pick a side, it would be Arkansas, but I don't really like them nearly as much on the road as I do at home. And Mississippi State is, for me, considered one of those feisty teams. So they've absolutely been terrible. They're 3-6 in conference. I'm not trying to make a case that I think they win or anything like that, but multiple possessions with Arkansas on the road is just not really something I'm trying to get into.
Any interest in this one, Spoon, or should we move on?
I got really close to Arkansas here. Off the loss to Kentucky, now they play Mississippi State, a team that's done pretty poorly in conference, including a loss to Kentucky 92-68. I feel like this is one of those you're just so mad about that last loss kind of things. You take it out on your next opponent. I was hoping to see a smaller line than this after the last game, but I'm not going to lay it.
I feel like the problem is Mississippi State has such a high ceiling. We've seen them play really well a few times, and there's just been such crazy variance from that team. They're either practical joke terrible or they look great. So, yeah, I'm good with passing on this one.
And the 2 home games that they lost was Vanderbilt and Alabama, 2 teams that are obviously very similar with 3-point variance.
And 2 teams
I don't know the. Go ahead.
2 teams I would consider to be better than Arkansas. Yes, they are.
Yeah. I was more thinking about Alabama. I have to give it to Vanderbilt, but I was more thinking about Alabama.
Next up is Louisville Wake Forest. I know sports scientist Jacob he likes Wake here. Either you guys agree?
Let's do that real quickly. Get that out of the way.
You're laying 9.5 on the road.
Well, I'm a sharp, so I got 7.5. But yeah, wow. I'm laying the points.
Wow, sharp alert. Still playable at 9.5 or no?
I mean, I made this 10. That's what I was trying to get, under 10. So I guess technically, yeah. But again, I don't. It's not that like I'm in like love with this Louisville team at all, but I think me and Spoon both agreed a little bit a while ago, especially after that Duke loss, that there was going to be a buy low situation with them, with Mikael Brown coming back. And he's been hit or miss the 4 games or whatever it's been that he's played. But regardless, I'm going to stand firm on that, guys. Wake Forest sucks, and I'm going to continue to say that. A 1-point win versus Florida State means nothing to me. A 3-point win versus Virginia Tech means absolutely nothing to me. I'm telling you guys, this team is bad. I know that they've played a gauntlet of a schedule in somewhat with NC State, SMU, Duke, and then on the road at Pittsburgh as well. That's not easy, and now they're coming home. I get all that, but like I told you guys with NC State, they're going to destroy this team because Wake Forest is not a good basketball team. Louisville is a good basketball team, and they should win this game by double digits easily.
Do you agree, Spoon?
I lean Louisville here. I'm not gonna move on this game. Toasted did a nice job getting that 7.5. I think Wake is a decent team, not the worst team in the conference or anything at that level, but Louisville is at a buy low in this scenario right now, and I think if you're ever going to bet them, it's probably right now. I missed the number, so I'm not moving on it.
I kind of want to take Wake now, though. Sports scientist Jacobs liked it. It's moved a little bit, so even if Louisville minus 7.5 was an edge, it could have moved into a little bit of valuable territory on the other side. I'm adding Wake to my list.
And you got the Phillies hat on.
Yeah, I'm down.
Back in sports scientist Jacob with the Phillies hat on. He's gonna like that.
I'm down to jump on a bet with sports scientist Jacob. He may be a bit of a weirdo, but he's a sharp man. He beats the close. Put Wake down as a possibility.
Hate to see it.
I'm putting it down as a possible. I have 40 slides. No need to start firing. Dude, sometimes I've done these shows sometimes with you.
I expect 40 bets tomorrow.
Well, I've done these shows with Toast over the years where like I finish, it's like 2:30 in the morning, and I like open my phone. I'm like, I have 17 bets. So I'm trying to chill.
I did that 2 Saturdays ago. I was like, wait a minute, there's 18.2 units out right now.
Wait a second. I put a lien on my house? Nebraska Rutgers. All right, so Nebraska laying a big number in the rack. Rutgers was you know what, though? I don't even want to say they were disappointing at UCLA. They got killed, but UCLA looked really, really good in that game. Is 13 too many to lay in the rack here?
I think so. I've already bet Rutgers here. Again, I've been on the train that I don't think Nebraska is as good as what their record showed. I'm not trying to make a case, obviously, that Rutgers is anywhere like Michigan and Purdue, but we do have ourselves in a nice little sandwich spot after those 2 games, and then they have Purdue on deck. So that's first and foremost. But if I just feel like we're not going to see a shit ton of possessions in this game. I think that Rutgers is going to be able to help control the pace down and slow this game down. And if that's the case, I mean, again, you're just going to be asking Nebraska to continue to be a miracle on the offensive end. And I just don't think that that's going to happen. I'm not saying they're going to lose every single game from here on out, but I think what the Nebraska team that we have seen earlier in the season and how well their offense has performed is a little bit too much to expect, especially going down the stretch here. So we'll find out, I guess, tomorrow. But I don't really like this spot for them at all. I'm obviously on the record as a known Nebraska hater, but I just thought that 12.5 was too much. I already bet Rutgers.
Can Rutgers defend the 3 ball at all, though? Because that one white dude on Nebraska does not fucking miss shots, dude. He just never misses. I'm trying to find the Rutgers defense.
You're not gonna like to see that 3-point percentage defense on Rutgers.
I'm pulling it up right now.
In the country.
Oh God. So yeah, they struggle against the 3 ball. No. What do you think, Spoon?
This is Nebraska pass for me. Coming off a couple losses, this is the lowest you could buy them all season. Quite literally. I'm not going to get there with this number. I think Nebraska wins it handily, but 13 is just one of those numbers. I don't feel like they have any reason to push it past 10, so I'm not going to get there.
You said the lowest you could possibly buy them, though. I mean, they are laying 13 points on the road. It's not like their stock has dramatically fallen in market.
It's Rutgers.
No, I get it. I'm not trying to say Rutgers.
Like, had they just beaten Michigan and just beaten Illinois, those were two games they could have won, what would they be laying to Rutgers right now? This would be 22.
22 at the rack? I mean, Iowa was laying.
If they're coming in 22-0 after beating Michigan and Illinois in back-to-back games,
I mean, at the rack, the numbers that have been laying here. I mean, Michigan State was only laying 14.5 here. So I think Nebraska's value is just. I don't think they dropped it all in market. Michigan State was just laying 14.5 at the rack just a week and a half ago. So I understand what you're saying with a buy low with Nebraska. I just don't think their stock fell. So I don't think it's a buy low because I don't think their stock fell. I'm not taking Rutgers. Hey, I'm good. Let's move on. Syracuse, Virginia. Did either of you dudes click this one? Oh, the checkbox got unclicked. Did either of you guys click this one, or did I add this?
You probably added it.
Well, we could skip if you guys. What quick thoughts? Skip. What do you guys think?
Do you have any thoughts, Spoon? Because I want to bet Syracuse. I'm not going to do it, but I really want to bet Syracuse here. I know that Virginia's been really, really good, but I do think that, and I've continued to say it, Syracuse is a lot better than people give them credit for. And I know that the North Carolina cover was a bit fugazi. I get that, but they still did it on the road in North Carolina. And after seeing that team and how big that team is, I don't really think Virginia is going to be that much of a slap in the face of this team. I'd lean Syracuse heavily, but I don't know if I can actually do it.
Spoon.
I agree with you here. I mean, Syracuse's coach is literally coaching for his job right now. I'm never going to bet against the guy with his back against the wall. The Syracuse team might be a knife. I think they can get to Virginia. It's not going to be a spot that they end up winning this game, but I think this number is a little bit disrespectful to Syracuse at this point in the season. And I'm close to it. I'm not going to get there. There's such a huge slate, and Syracuse has exceeded my expectations quite a bit this season, so I'm not going to try to get there, but I feel like this is a nice buy low. They showed some pride in that Notre Dame game, and North Carolina, they stayed in at 10 points. I don't think Virginia is that much better than North Carolina, and to get 3 extra points compared to that ending total, I think this is a spot. North Carolina's gym is much tougher to play in than Virginia's, in my opinion.
I kind of like it. Kind of like what you guys are saying. Let's see. Has there been any movement yet? So it looks like we have Pinnacle has moved about 8 cents towards Syracuse. It looks like it came in a little bit on the Syracuse side. Yeah, DraftKings got up to 13.5, came back down. FanDuel's been at 12.5. It does look like if there is any movement so far that it has been towards the 13. FanDuel down from 13.5. Yeah, it looks like it was 13.5. It came down. So can I still get a 13 somewhere? Let me check.
Syracuse. You should be able to get a
13.5. There's a trade available for 13.5.
I'm gonna say it. You're gonna have to trade, but it's there.
I'm always DTT. I'm always down to trade. 1 sec. There's a 13.5. Let me get it.
And JC Cammy, if you want to mute me, I think your phone or TV has a volume button on the side. When I talk, you can see my mouth moving, and it should work. And if you don't have that, that's all good. I'm just trying to help you out.
Someone wants to mute me. Mute you?
He wants to mute me because my advice is so bad. He should have an auto mute button. Check it out, honey. I got him.
Stop gambling, bro. All right, I'm on Syracuse 13.5. Trade is inputted.
Somebody said they lost their paycheck betting that Vermont game the other day in the comments. Shout out. Don't be betting your paycheck on anything that's just straight up irresponsible.
Yesterday, I saw the one guy comment. He goes, I've been tailing Spoon and losing all week. Like by all week, by all week, you mean 2 days? Because he just had 7 winning days in a row and then had 2 losing days.
Hey, as I always say, numbers are hard, guys.
You can always tell, like the terrible gamblers, the ratchet gamblers outing themselves.
Trevor, stop commenting in our show, or I'm coming into your show and start talking crap too.
Villanova, Georgetown. Georgetown just won. I thought, and I just faded them too. I lost with Creighton against Georgetown.
Yeah, they got destroyed. That was, I guess, not destroyed, but I did not expect Georgetown to win that game by nearly 10 points or whatever it was.
I think it closed at like 1. So yeah,
Georgetown's hot right now.
They won 4 in a row. Are you a believer in this 4-game winning streak here? Either of you guys?
Spoon, you can go first. I can't figure out Villanova. So I was right to lay the points with Seton Hall. I didn't bet it or anything. So I just still have to watch a little bit more of Villanova. I just don't really have a good touch for this team. I do think this number is a little bit short, though. I think that Villanova is a lot better than people are giving them credit for. And I will give you that Georgetown is playing well, but Villanova is a significant step up in competition. And let's not forget that Villanova beat this team by 15 the first time that these two teams played. Obviously, that game was on the road. This game will be at home for Georgetown. But I think this number is suspiciously slow, but I don't know.
What do you mean suspiciously low? They are winning. Like,
I know,
winning.
But against who though? Like, does that? I mean, I honestly thought this would be like Nova 5.5.
I agree with you that I think it should be Nova around 5.5. But I'm saying the suspiciously low. They're winning games. They got. I mean, maybe they earned some respect. They were just almost. They almost closed at. They just closed favored against Creighton. So the market is respecting Georgetown right now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like Villanova. I mean, they lost to Creighton. The Creighton game is like the only game that you can look at them and be like, damn, what the hell were you guys doing? Because obviously with St. John's winning tonight, that loss doesn't look nearly as bad. And then they lost to UConn in overtime. So I feel like Villanova's so much better. I just thought this number was short. Ken Pom had this 5. Again, maybe you're right, though. Maybe the market just has a lot of respect for Georgetown. I just don't get it. I don't understand why.
Well, I took Creighton plus 2.5, thinking like, oh, Creighton's going to close as favorites here against Georgetown. And it did move a little bit in my favor, but Georgetown still closes the favorite. So I think the market is just believing in what Georgetown's doing. Are you believing in this Georgetown winning streak, Spoon?
I'm not, but I'm also not getting in front of it. Georgetown has played really well in this building. They do have a few losses. You can consider St. John's a bad loss, but St. John's shot almost 60% from 3 in that game. St. John's is a really good comp for Villanova because the two coaches coach similarly. Nova's coach Willard was an assistant there for Patino for years. So they build their team similarly. They play similarly. I think this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to the stretch. If Nova were under 3, I might consider it, but I don't have faith in backing Georgetown right now. Coming off of 4 wins, it's Providence, DePaul, Butler, and Creighton. The Big East is down this year, and all those teams command no respect from me. Creighton, usually one of the better teams in the conference, always have a good offense, but I mean the rest of these teams, it's not a good season, so those wins don't mean much to me. Villanova is a decent team. Willard's got them playing pretty good basketball right now. It wouldn't surprise me to see them open this game up at all. If somehow this number comes down to 2.5 or an even 3, I'll move on Nova.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same, that I lean Villanova, but I'm not going to pull the trigger at this number. I agree.
I have a question, Spoon. Is there a world that like Villanova is actually pretty damn good?
No.
Okay.
I think so.
I was gonna say, man, like I can't figure. I mean, I just don't bet this. I don't bet their games because I'm like, man, like they're a lot. I didn't think that they were as good as what we saw earlier in the season. And go ahead.
If you look at their losses, they're really impressive losses. You have BYU, Michigan,
Yes.
St. John's, and Connecticut. Like none of those, those are the best teams in the country. There's nothing unimpressive about that. And I think they're playing better basketball this second half of the season. I'm excited to see what they do. Willard's a good coach. This isn't really like his full roster at this point. I'm excited for next year, but where they're coming down right now, it's good.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Oh, no, I was just saying we moved on to the next game, and somebody was talking about taking Virginia Tech in the Discord. Was that you, Toast?
Yeah, I just don't really love the spot for NC State here. I think the number was 11.5. Though when I said that, I could be dead wrong about that, but I thought it was a little bit more than this. But
Pretty sure
just
it was
don't
9.5 when you said it.
Was it? Okay, I could have been. Like I said, I could have been wrong, but I didn't bet this game. But I do think that we're getting to the point now where the market has obviously.
When you shared it in the Discord and said you kind of like Virginia Tech, it was 10.5.
Okay, so I thought, yeah, right. Okay, it was double digits. So, it's for me. I love this NC State team. I've been making money hand over fist with this team, but now I really don't like this spot for them. Off of a big win against SMU, a game that I think if anybody watched that game, they could have easily lost and probably should have lost. If I'm being dead honest with you, and I had NC State in that game, so
damn right they should have lost.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to come on here and make it seem like that game I didn't pay attention in that game. But they have Louisville on deck in 2 days after this game. They only had 3 days to prep for this Virginia Tech game. I just feel like you're asking a lot for this NC State team, even though they are at home to win against double digits. Keep in mind, also Virginia Tech also has been playing pretty well. Their last 3 losses in conference: SMU, Louisville, and Duke. I just don't think Virginia Tech is nearly as bad as the market's making them out to be. I almost moved at them at 10.5. 9.5 is still fine, but it would be nice to have those double digits.
You can get a juice 10.5 still, but it's mostly 9.5 now.
I didn't bet it though, for the record.
Any thoughts, Boo?
I'll monitor this one. I agree with that 10.5. NC State off of 5 straight wins. Virginia Tech, this team's played really close when they're not playing the best teams in the country. Duke blew them out, sure. Louisville, as much as we want to talk bad about them, they're a very good team, ranked 20th in KenPom. That was a bad loss, but everybody else, I mean, SMU 1-point loss, Stanford 1-point loss, Wake Forest 3-point loss. A lot of really close games. They played 4 overtime games on the season, so we're getting a team that plays to the level of their competition, and we're getting them with 10 points. I think this is Virginia Tech. I'll monitor this and see if I can get that 10.5 to come back. It's not crazy to see a line bounce back and forth. So at 9.5, I think it's still a decent play, but knowing that the market opened at 10.5, I don't think that number is completely gone.
So TV Jones is in the comments saying this is sharp. Virginia Tech's live on the money line, which I kind of like. Damn. Ooh. He's right though. This is the game NC State drops after the miracle, and then
that's what I'm saying. Like I said, I think I'm the one guy that's been high on NC State for a while now, and I hate this spot for them. They have 2 really big games coming up after this with Louisville and Miami and North Carolina. Matter of fact, like their whole schedule after this is pretty damn solid. So
yeah, so Louisville's on deck. It's 2 days away. It's on Monday, so yeah. You have to be prepping for both teams coming into this game. You don't have enough time to prep for both teams throughout the week.
All right, let's go. I'm taking the plus 10.5. That's on. I'm not taking the money line though.
Is it 115 or 20?
114.
Okay. Now we gotta load here.
All right, what book?
FanDuel. All right, I'm in. Let me just alert the juice real folks. All right, good. Yeah, I'm in. So I'm in at the. All
right.
If I watch this NC State team splash 13 threes in a row on me again,
I'm gonna die.
Dude, they hit like legitimately 6 threes in a row against SMU, and I was on SMU money line, and then SMU ended up covering the plus 2.5 that I passed on to take the money line. Infuriating. Infuriating.
That's terrible.
Oh my God, infuriating.
Yeah, and just for the record, Kyle, NC State shot 44% from deep that night. SMU shot well too, but still.
Okay, so this is Indiana -4, not 7.5. Ignore the graphic on the screen. So, what's interesting about this game? So, Trevor, TV Jones, and his guys are live streaming during this game because TV Jones is a Wisconsin fan, and Huff, who's Trevor's co-host over there on the Pump Fake Pod, he's an Indiana fan that lives in Indiana. So for anyone's up on YouTube, this will probably be fun to watch these 2 guys watch this game. They're live streaming during the game at noon Eastern. So I want to bet it because I probably am going to be tuning into that, and I would like to have some action. So the question is who I want to side with. So the pick is not Wisconsin, Indiana. The pick is Huff or TV Jones.
Well, Spoon, do you want to go? I have a bet in this game, but do you want to go first since you and TV Jones are always going at it? I'm curious to hear where you are.
Yeah, and I have a lot of respect for Huff and TV Jones, but here, Wisconsin, Indiana, you got a road team going into Indiana. This is a really respected building. The Badgers, I don't think they have that great of a team this year. I think they're starting to get a little bit overvalued, but I think TV Jones is going to try to sell on them. I think he's going to try to buy out like in the middle of the show and like live bet Indiana. So I'm gonna back Wisconsin here just because I feel like that's the only spot.
Yeah, I don't understand. Look, I know that Wisconsin's kind of had an up and down season, but you're not going to convince me that Wisconsin's a full 1.5 better on a neutral than Wisconsin. Indiana's had their own shares of ups and downs themselves, right? I think you go Wisconsin here.
Oh yeah,
you do, right?
Yeah, I bet Wisconsin plus 4.5.
This number should be Indiana minus 2.5 is where this number should be.
I bet Wisconsin plus 4.5. Wisconsin on the money line plus
Let's
160.
go. I'll do that with you.
Okay.
So I put my Chiefs hat on now, but I only got the tinfoil hat close.
So let's just first of all, obviously this is a road game for Wisconsin. So if an offensive team like that, we have to worry about their offensive production and what they've been able to do on the road. So let's just shorten that a little bit to conference play. They've been fantastic. They didn't show up against Nebraska their first game in the beginning of December. But since then, they went on the road to Michigan. They won that game. They shot 15 for 33 from deep. They went on the road to Minnesota. They shot 14 for 33 from deep. They went on the road to Penn State and shot 15 for 35 from deep. And why am I bringing that up? Because if you take a look at Indiana at home in their conference games, they're giving up the three ball everything. Defensively, they are just absolutely horrible. They're not forcing turnovers. Teams are effective field goal percentages through the roof against them. The 3-point numbers aren't gaudy, but the 2-point numbers are absolutely gaudy. I just don't see where there's an advantage for Indiana here, not to mention the spot. You have Wisconsin, who hasn't played a game since January 31st. They've had almost a week to prep. Now you have Indiana coming back from the West Coast on February 3rd. They've only had 4 days to prep for this, I think this is an awesome spot for Wisconsin. I think they're extremely undervalued here. I thought I was going to get them like 2.5. So to get them at 4.5 and 168 on the money line, I truly think this game is grossly mispriced. And that has nothing to do with Trevor. I just don't think that Indiana is nearly this good. I know that they beat UCLA. UCLA just didn't play well. It is what it is. But I really like the spot for Wisconsin here on the road. Them on the road does nothing for me. They've been awesome.
Yeah, I'm in, and I agree. And actually, looks like FanDuel's already come down to 3.5. I took a 4.5. There's still 4.5s out there. So I didn't mean that as in, you better rush. I'm just saying it looks like FanDuel's come down to 3.5. Pinnacle's come down to a flat 4. Circa's opened at 4. So, yeah, I'm in. Wisconsin, Badger up. I think the number should be 2.5. Maybe if you want to put Indiana a half point up on a neutral, but I wouldn't put them head and shoulders above Wisconsin right now.
And Indiana's traveling back in from the West Coast. I think that's a nice advantage when you have Wisconsin sitting here in the same time zone for quite a while now.
Mm-hmm. Week prep.
I might tell that. I have so many bets already.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming we're only going to spend a second on this one. Oregon, Purdue. Oregon still missing their 2 leading scorers. Any reason to look at that? I mean, Purdue doesn't look right, but I feel like a 70% Purdue can still blow Oregon out if they wanted.
It would only be Purdue or pass for me. They've had almost a week to prepare for Oregon, and they just destroyed Maryland on the road. I think we've seen the worst of what we're going to see from Purdue for a while here. But we'll see.
Spoon.
If you were going to make some sort of giant parlay tomorrow, I think I would throw that parlay out and just bet Oregon on the money line, not make any large bet on it. But this is the kind of game that Purdue can lose. I think Oregon is a bad team, but eventually at some point in the season, they're going to step up. I think just a little sprinkle on the money line is worth it.
They're not going to lose. They are not going to lose this game, Spoon.
You know what's crazy is that I actually
bet. How many times people have said that? Wait, you guys told me this multiple times this season.
No, not about not against Oregon missing. No.
Yeah, we talked about that about like Indiana and Illinois, UCLA,
and we've also established that Spoon has a weird.
The hate for Matt Painter is absolutely
he hates the
ridiculous.
coach. Why is this 15.5? We're pricing out Baylor like a Mountain West program now.
I mean, I guess technically to answer, yes. I don't. Spoon's the one that called it at first, and he got the West Virginia money line or Baylor money line against West Virginia, and then they came home and looked really good versus Colorado. On the road at Iowa State is a completely different story, but I think the one thing that we've talked about, or most people have talked about if you're following college basketball, is that, and Iowa State's good. I think I agree with that. Spoon agrees with that, but they really haven't had to play anybody lately. I mean, they haven't played anybody since January 13th, and that was Kansas. I mean, and and they lost that game by 20-some points. So I'm not trying to make the case that I think that Baylor's going to win this basketball game or anything like that, but I do think this is too many points with a Baylor team that, again, is starting to play better. And as we talked about, even going into that West Virginia game, their offense has never been a question. Is this if their defense can start to play well? Can they do it on the road in Hilton or whatever it is? Yeah, Hilton. I don't know, but I do feel like it's a little bit too many points here personally. It would only be Baylor for me. I didn't bet it though.
I like I like what Saturated he said here about the Oregon game. He goes, Kyle, have you considered that Purdue wants Oregon to win? Playing students tinfoil shit.
Shout out Saturated.
Yeah, I like that guy.
We're back in the Illini today, bud.
Yeah, I tailed you on that. We'll get to that game. So any thoughts on this one, Spoon, or should we move on? Didn't sound like Toast was really into it.
This is a giant number. I love Iowa State. I think this is a great team. This is absolutely disrespectful to Baylor. I can't get involved right now, but it's only Baylor. Baylor's not a great team. Iowa State's a really good team. This game could get ugly. I wouldn't be surprised to see them win by 30, but at this number, the way I handicap it's only Baylor. This number should be closer to 9.5.
That's what I'm saying.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, that's a crazy number, but I'm good.
I could see this one getting ugly.
Speaking of ugly, let's talk Marquette. What a segue there. Butler Marquette. No, isn't Marquette looks better though recently, right, Spoon?
Yeah, so we like them at home. This is the big thing. We like them at home. So they have a win in conference at home versus Xavier, Providence, and Creighton. Winless on the road in conference right now. Also have some other losses at home, but Butler's not a great team. I could see them winning this game. -2 with Marquette. I wanted to try to get there, but I mean, it's a really nice buy low for Butler. They're off 3 straight losses. They had to play St. John's, Georgetown, and Providence. That Providence game, they really should have won, in my opinion. And now they leave Providence and go and play Marquette. I think Providence is playing better basketball than what Marquette is right now. I don't see any reason Butler can't win this game. And just the back and forth with the amount of games on there, I don't need to be involved. I really like Marquette at home, and I don't want to get in front of that, but it's a buy low for Butler, so I just can't bet it.
Yeah, I agree. I like Marquette too, but I feel like I would need a pick. The fact that I'm laying 2, it's actually even a juice to 2.5 some places. So if
bad as Marquette is, we should be able to get plus money on a money line with them.
Yeah. I need a pick because I actually think Marquette -2 is probably the fair price. Toast.
Yeah, I agree. I also think it's a terrible spot for Butler, who Spoon mentioned they've lost 3 of their last game, or 3 of their last 3 games, but this is also going to be 3 of their last 4 games on the road. They only had 3 days or 2 days, 2 full days to prep for this game. I hate the spot for Butler, but do I actually want to put -2 on my card with Marquette? There's no chance in hell. So yes, I think Marquette wins, and they probably cover the number, but there's no way I'm betting it.
TV Jones says easiest over on the board. I guess he's talking about this game.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, you would Marquette Butler would be a high scoring game. Total's 157.5. It makes sense if he's talking about this game. I don't know when exactly he sent that message though, because it was Cleveland State, IU, Indy. We're talking some Horizon.
You know it.
This is you, Toast?
No. Oh, well, I have thoughts, but go ahead, Spoon. I know he clicked it.
This is my game. I have a Cleveland State money line plus 115. I think this Cleveland State team is playing really good basketball right now. They've rallied off 5 in a row, and you hear me a lot of times say this is a time to sell high on this team, but nobody is respecting Cleveland State. They're still a dog versus IU Indy. IU Indy has one of their best players still dealing with injury, still possible to come back tomorrow. I can't pronounce his last name, Agostino. So he might come back into the lineup. Even with him in it, I think this number is still disrespectful to Cleveland State. I think we should be laying a couple points with them on the road to IU Indy right now. They play with a little bit of an uncomfortable pace for a lot of teams, but Cleveland State's been able to handle that pace. They play pretty fast themselves. I don't think this is going to be any issue for them tomorrow. I like what's going to happen here. They won the first matchup 99-86, so to be able to get them as a dog, maybe it's a little bit fishy, but I'm not passing it up.
Yeah, 100% agree. I'm glad you mentioned D'Agostino because that was the thing that was circled for me. Let's just say that he is coming back. Well, guess what? These two teams have already played. Cleveland State won that game by 13, and D'Agostino had 27 points in that game. So even if he comes back in healthy and he scores his 20 or 25, I still think they end up losing this game. I just think that Cleveland State's a lot better. I really think that Cleveland State's a lot better of a basketball team, and I get that they had a bad start to their conference season. I get that. But at the same time, they're playing much better, and IU Indy really isn't playing well right now, and they haven't been all year. So they got a lucky win at home against Robert Morris in overtime, and then they finally had a really good night against Oakland.
They're playing better right now. Yeah, this is the time you buy on IU Indy. I agree with TV Jones in the comments. IU Indy money line, they're favored for a reason. Cleveland State wins 5 straight off Oakland win. Flat letdown spot. IU Indy. I agree. IU Indy. I'm not betting it though. And TV Jones is a Horizon League guy. He follows that conference.
Spoon just gave out Cleveland State plus 8.5 and Cleveland State money line their last game and cashed them both.
That's a cool story, but IU Indy wins that game.
I was just pointing out that Spoon has a pretty his finger on the pulse of the Horizon League market as well.
Wow, he's trying to steal TV Jones' conference there. That's TV Jones land, the Horizon League. All right, Spoon. I already know you clicked this one because you like talking about the Ivy League. Cornell on the road at Columbia. Columbia short home favorite here. The graphic says 2, but it's mostly 1.5. Thoughts?
Columbia money line minus 120 is the number I have. Columbia is a really good team. In my opinion, they're also getting one of their best players back off injury. Started most of the season for them and just recently coming back. I think this is a good spot for them. Miles Franklin started, I think, 17 games this season. Missed 2 or 3 games, the loss versus Yale where they really could have stepped up, and then a game versus Dartmouth. Barely played versus Penn and came off the bench versus Princeton, but finally got 23 minutes and getting this team fully healthy. This Columbia team is an offensive juggernaut, is as well as Cornell, but Cornell's just a step below them at this point in the season. I think Columbia coming off a loss is a really good spot to buy them. I mentioned this the other day. There's only 4 spots available in the Ivy League tournament, so all these matchups really matter a ton. Sitting 3-4 in conference right now. Columbia is a really good team. They're 14-7 overall with their record. I think they want to make the Ivy League tournament, and it's going to come with wins like this versus Cornell. They're going to have another couple wins versus Penn, and then they get some easier games. So these next 2 games versus Cornell and Penn I had circled, and to be able to get it at minus 120, I'm not passing it up.
I just got a minus 125, so I'm in with you on Columbia money line. Toes, any thoughts?
Sports scientist Jacob likes Cornell, so I'll take Columbia.
Oh, fading the scientist.
Just kidding.
Sports scientist Jacob's in the comments saying he likes Cornell.
Yep, he said Cornell here.
He probably doesn't know that the Columbia's best player, one of their best players, is back though.
And then Jerry Davis said Cornell revenge.
So I have like a back and forth with 3 or 4 people on like NCAA basketball injuries. We need to start a spot in the Discord where we keep an ongoing track. There's so many teams. It's so difficult.
Well, there's a college basketball chat room in there.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be efficient. We would need just like people that are allowed to talk.
Oh, you want me to? Yeah, I could do that. Ole Miss, Texas. Let's talk SEC ball. This Texas team continues to get overvalued.
Because you barely covered your number with South Carolina?
No, not barely. I did cover my number with South Carolina. In fact, it was kind of crazy that it was even close. South Carolina was winning the game in the second half.
Texas looked like shit.
Another game, another overpriced Texas number.
Yeah, I would agree with that to a point. I guess I'm not laying it with Texas here. I just hate the spot for Ole Miss. This is going to be their fourth straight road game with 3 days or 4 days to prep and coming off. I mean, but they are coming off of Auburn at home, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, all those three on the road. So seeing this Texas team in defense shouldn't be anything that they can't handle. It would only be Ole Miss for me personally, but I just hate the spot, so I actually can't bet it.
Yeah, fourth consecutive road game, hotel life. Am I right, Spoon?
Yeah, that hotel life is rough. And Chris Beard, I respect him as a coach, but I don't really think he's got a great team here this year. It's going to take a couple of years to get what he wants going. This is Texas or nothing for me.
All right, let's move on. I don't think any of us are betting that. All right, next up, Princeton Penn. We're back to the Ivy League, Spoon. Go ahead.
This is Penn for me. Double checking my line. Penn -3.5, -110. Princeton, pretty good basketball team. They've turned it on a little bit towards the second part of the season. Started out pretty poorly, started out 3-11, but since then rallied off 3 wins in a row and then 2 out of 5. Penn, on the other hand, has looked pretty strong in conference. They beat NJIT right before conference play started, and NJIT has shown their ability to have some huge wins at this point. They beat Brown, they beat Dartmouth, they beat Cornell. Played tough with Yale for quite a while and then fell out of that game. Harvard has shown the ability to punch up in this conference. They'd lost that game by 1. Now they get a home game versus Princeton. There's a little bit of injuries baked into this. Double checking notes on this one real quick. I believe Penn is getting one of their layers back. No, Princeton has a one of their rotation players injured in this game. I just think this is a really short number for Penn here. Princeton has turned it on in the second half of the season, but Fran McCaffrey is a much better coach coming over to the Ivy. I expect him to show his dominance as a coach. I mean, this guy's has won so many games that nobody has put him in. To be able to only lay 3.5 versus Princeton here, I think is silly. I think Penn should be able to win this game by double digits, and I think Penn is one of the teams live to be in this Ivy League conference as well. These games mean so much, and I think just Princeton is at a bad spot. I don't think this team is where they want it to be.
Yeah, I'll just piggyback off of that because that was the only thing I was going to add is that if you look at the Ivy League standings, Princeton's 4-3, Penn is 3-4. I think that Penn is a little bit better, and they're going to move up in the standings here. Yeah, I like Penn as well.
You would lay 3.5, Toast?
Yes.
Did you?
Penn's been playing like really good basketball teams. Princeton's a significant step down in class for them.
Did you lay 3.5?
I haven't. They're on my circled list though. I was actually waiting to hear what Spoon had to say.
You think this number goes up, Spoon?
Penn has won every possible home game they've had this season. They lost to Yale, but Yale is just head and shoulders above both of these teams. I already laid the 3.5 -110. They have some impressive wins. Merrimack is a very good team. They're likely going to be in the NCAA tournament this year. They beat them 77-65 in this building earlier this season. They beat Drexel. They beat St. Joe's. A lot of teams that I consider to be better than Princeton handily. Now that Penn is playing a little bit better, Fran McCaffrey is a really good coach. I truly expect this to be a 10-point win.
All right, let's go. I'll tell you, Spoon.
Weren't they dogs against Cornell too? Am I way wrong on that? No, I gotta look.
Oh, sorry, guys. Let me just bet this real quick. All right, Penn minus 3.5. Come on.
Yeah, they were 7.5 point dogs versus Cornell. Yeah, that's what.
Why is this not coming up? Basketball. Oh, it's not even. I'm not even seeing it. Hold on. Sorry.
Oh, Princeton's in New Jersey team.
Oh, duh.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you noticed. I would have sat there scrolling. Princeton's in New Jersey. All right. Sienna St. Peter's.
Spoon.
This is my game. I'm trying to find my line on it. I have Sienna money line minus 110. Really good basketball game here. St. Peter's has shown their ability to play really well in conference. They play maybe the best defense in conference, but I think Sienna is just so much above them head and shoulders just offensively. I can only get there with Sienna in this game. They started the beginning of the season off pretty hot. They dealt with some injuries, rallied off losses to Vermont, Indiana, Iona, Merrimack, and Sacred Heart in a 6-game spot. But outside of that, once they've gotten healthy, they played so well. They shot the ball terribly to start conference play, but that is completely turned around. And St. Peter's is a really bad shooting team. They just rely entirely on their defense to win their basketball games. And I think we can see a lot of games getting away from this team. Ryder is at 354 in the country and ended up beating St. Peter's. I think Sienna can do the same thing. We're getting a really good number. I think Sienna in any court should be laying points to St. Peter's. To be able to get minus 110 on the money line is a joke in my opinion. So I get it's a home game. It's MAAC action, so it's going to be a really tight game, but I think Sienna should be laying 3 points even on the road here, maybe 2.5, but I'm not passing up 110 money line.
I'm good on this one. Also, St. Peter's is in New Jersey anyway.
Yeah, and they haven't lost a home game all year. I'm not stepping in front of that. Or have they ever lost a home game? I don't think so. But regardless.
Next up is Bowling Green, Arkansas State. Got a couple good games coming up too.
Somebody in the comments said, "Oh crap, Spoon drinks beer."
Someone before said Spoon is my real dad. Arkansas State, Bowling Green. Who's talking? Oh wait, this is Sunbelt versus MAC. Why are these teams playing?
So it's like the past couple seasons.
Yeah.
No, I think last season they did it before conference play. I don't think they did it in the middle of conference play. It's a little head scratching, but it's across the board. There's a few of these matchups out there, and this is Arkansas State for me. This is a team that was in a buy low in their last situation versus Coastal Carolina. They dropped 3 in a row, and I think this roster is capable of playing much better basketball than what they have. Now they get Bowling Green coming in all the way from Ohio. I think this is a great spot for Arkansas State to continue their little streak here, get a win. I have Arkansas State. Let me get the money line. Toast, do you have any thoughts on this game while I pull it up quick?
Yeah, it would only be Arkansas State for me as well. I'm not really a fan of this Bowling Green team, especially on the road right now. And on top of the fact that, look, I'm not trying to make a case that Arkansas State's like this some undervalued team or anything like that, but I do think that I agree with Spoon that they're continuing to play better. I know that their record doesn't show that, but I know that on KenPom these are like probably 60 spots different, but I really feel like it's a lot closer than that. I should feel like it should be like 1 point at max. So yeah, it would only be Arkansas State for me.
I have minus 1.5, minus 115.
I can get minus 1.5, minus 120. Yeah, I like Bowling Green. Weird non-conference game, flying down to Arkansas. Yeah, let's do it.
It's just a tough travel spot. It's nothing like you face in the MAC at all. Like you're in the middle of conference play, taking buses everywhere. Now you get on a plane, fly down to Arkansas.
Why?
And this is Nate Oates, assistant coach here. Like you're gonna get smacked in the face with pace immediately. I like BG. They have a good program. I like their gym up there. One of the better Ohio gyms, to be honest. But I'm going to fade them here.
I also looked at last year. Arkansas played Kent State on the road in this same type of matchup, and they lost by 1. And Kent State was a really good basketball team as well. So I expect them to punch up a little bit.
Oklahoma Vandy.
Yo. Pass.
Yeah, I added this one. So if you guys want to skip it, that's cool.
I'm done with Oklahoma. I
almost bet them last game too. So
I know, and I'm glad that you didn't, because we both felt the same way, and they got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, they got smoked.
I don't think that Vanderbilt's that good personally, but I think Oklahoma just can't get out of their own way. So it would only be Vanderbilt, as disgusting as it is for me. It would only be Vandy.
Any thoughts, Spoon?
I have questions about this Vanderbilt offense without Duke Miles. He was a really important piece in this offense, facing injury right now. This number is a little bit big to me. It's a sell high on Vandy, and obviously a buy low on this Oklahoma team, who is 1-9 in conference right now, losing 9 straight. I could only get there with Oklahoma, but I'm not going to bet this game.
All right, let's move on. I'm not.
Just for the record, that Duke Miles kid has missed the last 2 games. They won by 30 against Oklahoma. They won by 3 versus Ole Miss. So, who knows?
All right, let's move on to the next one. And this is the game we were waiting for.
Oh, really?
Timu Trent tagged me at 2:45 in the morning.
Wait, who is Timu Trent? At first, I thought that was Charles, but I don't think it's Charles.
No, it's Drake. It was Drake. Before that, it was originally Zoomer, and then it was. Yeah. He's gone through several names. He's now Timu,
aka formerly known as.
Yeah, he was originally Zoomer, and then he was Drake.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's him. So he tagged me at 2:40 a.m. to tell me that Auburn was the freest money on the board for this.
Which kills me, because he also tagged you the day before that around the same time and said he had 3 units on UConn money line at minus something because it's moving.
I like Alabama.
I had to tell you guys that UConn would go up a little bit and we could get a nice fat plus money line price and St. John's would win, but nobody cared.
I understand.
Plus 110.
I understand that this is a great home court environment. I understand that Auburn is maybe playing a little bit better now than they were earlier in the season to an extent, but Alabama is the better team, and I can get a plus 3.5 right now. Just one question. In what world? How can I get a plus 3.5? That's what we call in the industry a misprice. Alabama. I don't even care what you guys are about to say.
I think if anybody has watched this show, first of all, Auburn hasn't been super great ATS at home this year. I think they're like 8-6 or something like that. But I'm just curious. I'll go second. Spoon, you can go first because everybody should know where I'm at on this one. But go ahead.
Alabama won last year on the road in Auburn after Auburn had won on the road in Bama. And I think it's really hard to win in this building. It was an overtime win in the last game of the season there for Alabama. Huge win for Nate Oates. Have a lot of respect for him as a coach. That's kind of changed over the last few seasons, but this for me is only an Auburn spot. I believe they're laying points for a reason. I believe it's very hard to get a win in this gym, much less back-to-back wins in this gym. If Bama keeps this close, it's probably likely a Bama win, but I think this is more than likely Auburn wins by 5 to 9 points, and Bama falls out of this with 10 minutes to go.
Unreal.
Interesting.
Go ahead, Toast. Take Auburn.
Oh, I did take Auburn at minus 1.5. But I would be remiss if I didn't sing along if you know the words. Welcome to the jungle. Okay, so Auburn, off of a full week of prep for this Alabama team, which is not usually the easiest prep. Alabama, keep in mind, just played 3 days ago against Texas A&M in a 78 possession game. They won that game, obviously, and now they have to travel to hit the road. And so first and foremost, I think that we're going to need a couple things from Auburn. One of them is they're going to need. First of all, I want to say that on the injury report, I think Philon is on the injury report, or maybe it's Holloway. One of those two, their two best guys. One of those two is on there. I wouldn't worry about that. It's like a leg bruise or some bullshit. He'll play his full minutes. I wouldn't worry about that at all. I just wanted to get that out of the way. So, as far as Auburn's concerned, I do feel like at some point, and I've said this before about John Blackwell and other guys, will the real Tahad Pettiford please stand up? And I do think that this is a matchup where he can get to his spots in this game. Last year against Alabama, he had only 19 points, but he went off from deep. But he really hasn't been himself over the last couple of weeks, and they really need him. And sooner or later, he's going to go off. And I think this rivalry with Bama could spark him a little bit. But besides that, let's mark that off. Now, what is the common denominator in the Alabama losses? Now, a little bit of this has to do with their style of play and shot selection, but if you look at the common denominator is the rebounding edge, and when they lose games, they really get out rebounded. And keep in mind, I take notes like it's 1975, but let's just go through this really quickly. Keep in mind, Auburn's fourth in the SEC in rebounding rate. Alabama, in their losses, they lost the rebounding battle 43-28 to Purdue, 48-36 to Gonzaga. Vandy, I don't think the rebounding battle was bad in that game, but Alabama shot like 430 from deep or some crazy number like that. Who cares?
All better teams than Auburn.
Against Texas, 48-38. Against Tennessee, 42-33. Against Florida, 44-33. And if Auburn is going to control the glass like I assume that they do, I think that this is a bad spot for this Alabama team. And keep in mind, I'm like a lot higher on this Alabama team than I think almost anybody in the country. I still think that they're a Final Four possibility team if they can get healthy, especially with some of the guys that they've brought in. But regardless, this is Auburn in the jungle. And to be honest, I think that we're getting a little bit of value here. It's kind of gone now, but I thought at 1.5 there was a little bit of value there because Auburn hasn't played as well at home in the jungle so far this year, at least ATS wise. But I love this spot for Auburn here.
Sauce, do you think it would be harder to play Florida on the road or Alabama at home?
Go ahead. You can answer that.
Florida on the road.
Oh, much easier. Yeah, that's right.
But I picked Auburn. Hold on.
The hotels.
I had Auburn. I had Auburn. I had Auburn money line in that game. I picked Auburn money line in Gainesville. It was the worst spot ever for Florida. That was not Auburn showing us how good they were. That was just a terrible spot for Florida.
My last point to Auburn being undervalued, and I can't believe I forgot this one, is their two losses in conference is a overtime road loss to Georgia by 4 points and a home loss to one of the best teams in the country, our conference, in Texas A&M. That loss was by 2. I just feel like this Auburn team, if they would have won both of those or one of those two, I still think this number would have started at 3.5. I truly believe that Auburn is really, really undervalued right now.
I think Alabama's the better team. Number should be Auburn -1, maybe. DePaul. If this game was played 2 weeks ago, Alabama might be laying.
No chance.
Auburn was just catching like 12.5 from Florida.
Yeah, because Florida is significantly better than Auburn.
Yeah, but what was Alabama catching in Gainesville?
I don't know. I'd have to look. Hold on.
Go to the next game and I'll tell you in a second.
I don't remember what it was. It wasn't 12.5.
What? Auburn.
Oh, I'd have to find Florida. Okay, hold on. It'll give me a second. Or no, Alabama was 9.5-point dogs against Florida.
So yeah, the market had Alabama 3 points better than Auburn a week ago. What the hell? We're all of a sudden we've moved our opinion on these teams 4 points in a week. DePaul, Providence in the dunk. I think I added this one on you guys. So if you want to skip,
over or pass for me. Not really. I know that DePaul plays very, very slow, but I cannot underestimate how bad this Providence defense has been and can be throughout the rest of this season. So, again, DePaul's defense is really bad, but Providence can put up points. And if Providence defense continues to play like they do, DePaul should at least put up theirs. So it would only be over or pass for me.
Spoon, we skipping? I added this one on you.
This is Providence or pass for me.
Really?
coach is on the hot seat. Kim English probably is not going to be coaching Providence next year, but he is a decent head coach, and he's going to have a job here in the next few years. So he's got to finish out this season decent. All these players want to have good ability to transfer to different teams if they want to, and not like the new head coach. And I don't think there's a better spot to circle to get an easy win than DePaul on the road. I think this is Providence or pass. It's a really tough team to trust, but if you could trust this team and you just look at their numbers, this should be closer to 8.5 in my opinion.
Really?
And, I can only be there on Providence. DePaul
not...
on the road is a bad basketball team. You definitely have to lower their numbers. Providence has played some tough games, and you can make some arguments for them, especially at home, for playing up. Beat Creighton very handily. That Butler game was very impressive. They were down almost double digits in the second half with 10 minutes left and found a way to come back and win that. It was a back and forth game, and Butler I have much better than DePaul at this point in the season.
It's been a while since DePaul got like beat comfortably, though. I mean, the St. John's game, I guess, and the last one, but before that, look at the road.
You're saying they're due.
No, I'm saying that this team has been competitive. This isn't the DePaul team of years past that's just getting blown out. We are talking about Providence. I was kind of leaning DePaul, but I'm not putting it up or anything.
To be clear, I'm on record saying I'll never bet DePaul until Chris Holtman is.
You are on record saying that. All right. Has Miami of Ohio taken a loss yet?
Nope.
So does it happen here?
No. I'm gonna keep doing this. I keep doing it. Miami of Ohio. When we get in these close games, like what you're telling me, they're gonna travel all the way down to Marshall for this game and lose. This is 2 points. This is ridiculous. Miami of Ohio -2, -1 team. They have the much better team. Marshall has an offense that can contend with Miami on their best day, but I don't think you're going to catch an off day from Miami right here. This team is absolutely locked in. You're on the verge of doing something special. Travis Steele is a really good coach, and I don't think they're going to fumble any of these late games. If it's going to be anything, it's going to be Ohio in the last game of the season, in my opinion. And any of these games they give me this close to a pick 'em, I'm going to continue to hammer them. I've done it for a while now. I've been happy with it. Had to sit there in Toledo's gym and pretend to root for Toledo as Miami blew them out, but it was one of the freest bets I've had all season.
I got to stop glancing at the comments. I look down for 1 second, and the comment says, Spoon has his belly button pierced. Toes, any reason to take any reason to take Marshall here?
Yeah, man, I think there is. I mean, obviously the world's going to bet Miami, and I didn't get in front of them with Buffalo, and I didn't because I wasn't really in love with it. But now you have a Marshall, and they barely won against Buffalo. They could have lost that game. And on the road is a place that I want to get them. I think this is the hardest game left on their schedule because all the other hard games that you talked about, I guess Ohio would be close to it like Spoon talked about, but I think Marshall's a lot better than Ohio. So I feel like if they are going to lose a game, it's going to be this one against Marshall. Am I going to put my hard-earned money on Marshall?
I've heard that like a lot of times.
I swear.
No, I know.
Like it's the Acton game, it's the Toledo game.
Yes.
I haven't been betting against them.
I to be honest, I feel like I've heard it from all of you. This is the hardest game left on their schedule. I feel like I've heard both of you say that a number of times. But
I think the last 5 Miami games, I've said Miami or pass. If you want to get in the way with them or get in the way of them, go ahead. But this would be the only one that I would even remotely think about it.
All right, let's.
I said that with Kent State, and it was the hardest game left on their schedule. At this point, I mean, Miami of Ohio's got a cakewalk. They played all their tough games at the beginning. They just need to take care of business.
So we got a couple mid-major games here from Spoon, and then we'll get back. We still got like awesome. There's Duke, Carolina. We still got like awesome games left to get to. But Spoon,
can I say one thing? I'm not stoned right now, guys. Just want to throw that out there. Are
you getting accused of being stoned?
I just always see that. I just like, man.
It's the toast moniker. People just associate it with not burnt bread, but
it's the lore.
Something else.
It's the lore.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So Spoon, I have graphics for 2 games. You gave 4, so I only have graphics for 2. So why don't you rapid fire 4 mid majors, and I'll type it up onto the screen.
So right here we have Wofford. This is a Wofford team that has been very good to me on the season. They're getting healthier as the season carries on. In their last game, Brendan Rigsby only played 19 minutes, and that was a little bit of a red flag for me. But looking at it, it looks like he's going to be healthy moving on. I don't see any reason to not get on them versus Western Carolina here. This Wofford offense is the most high-paced offense, just can hit you in the face. West Carolina, Tim Kraft, good coach, but just one of the worst defenses in the entire country. I think Wofford can open up some huge runs on this team. I think we'll see this game at Wofford over 20 points at one point in time. They might come backdoor to open to like 9 points or so, but this is going to be a comfortable cover in my opinion. I think Wofford runs away with this.
And the other three? Before you text him. There's Maine Bryant is the next one.
We'll give him a second because I think that Western Carolina is alive. They've been very, very feisty on the road, and it's really hard to beat this team by multiple possessions. I actually had them circled. I'm not going to bet it because I respect Spoon, and he bets on these Wofford games a lot. So, but I leaned Western Carolina in this one.
All right, let's just go to the next. We'll just go in order then. There's two games that you sent, Spoon, that I don't have graphics for, but I do have Maine Bryant right here.
All right, so Maine Bryant, this is one of my favorite games on the board tomorrow. I know that sounds disgusting. Bryant off of 2 straight home games where they played really well. New Hampshire, not a great team, and they were missing their best player, somebody that's accounting for more than 30% of their production on the season. And without them, they were able to beat New Hampshire handily. They almost beat Albany, a team that had 3 of their rotation players injured. I believe one of them came off the bench, played a few minutes, but that's a really banged up Albany team. They just barely squeaked a loss out in that Albany game. I think this Maine team is playing really good basketball right now. They went into Vermont in Burlington, lost by 5 points in an impressive game where Vermont was banged up, lost to that New Hampshire team when that their best player was healthy, and New Hampshire played really good defense throughout the course of the season. Not an embarrassing loss, but right now they're playing good ball. They've now won 3 of 4, just beat Vermont at home. Normally a spot where I'd say let's sell high on this team. Chris Markwood, formerly a Vermont assistant, has this team playing great basketball. Cooper Flagg's little brother is playing on this Maine team, and I think Bryant this is the highest we can sell them on all season. Playing a game where they just lost by 1 possession and a win before that. This Bryant team is bad, and Maine might be bad too, but they're going to get this win.
Look at this CBB analytics graphic. I've never seen one this red. All right, so you like Maine plus 2.5?
No, I have them on the money line plus 120.
Maine money line plus 120. This is one of your favorites on the board. Spoon, there's not many games that would cause me not
now
to...
all the comments are going to come after me tomorrow.
Yep, that's how it works.
Yeah, my favorites on the board.
Yeah, well, like a normal person that knows what they're doing means a favorite bet like 2 units. Some of these freaks, favorite bet means like, honey, we need to take out a loan. Like they'll just go all in on it. All right, so we'll get to the next one. We're back. We're in NBA mode. Hold on, let's get us back. All right.
That's not NBA mode. That's Kyle fanboy love.
We had to cover the.
So American is the next game on that mid-major list that we don't have slides for. Let me pull it up real quick. I'll hit that. American versus Navy. This is a spot we have to back American, in my opinion. I can't continue to back this Navy team. I feel like they're very overvalued right now, sitting 10-1 in conference. American now off 3 straight losses. The only loss Navy has on the season is to American on the road. It was 65-51, and we're getting American as a dog. This is outrageous. I'm not going to pass this up. It's a nice buy low situation because they've lost their last few games. They're not facing any injuries that will make this a difficult game or anything. The last game, those were the only games I had. It was Mercyhurst.
Mercyhurst is the other one. So hold on, let me just get it up on the screen so everyone can see. So you're saying American plus 6.5. That's the one you just gave out?
Yes, American plus 6.
And do you what you said to getting? You said I believe you're.
I think they're live on the money line. It's just ridiculous to be able to get 2 possessions in that.
I'm taking the plus 6.5.
I haven't pressed the button yet. I have like 15, 16 bets open. I'm probably going to go back through and put a couple half unit money lines in. That's likely to be one of them. I think that's a very mispriced game, and I think that's one of the best places to find mispriced game is the lower conferences here. Speaking of lower conferences, Mercyhurst, Fairleigh Dickinson is the next game up. FDU off a win versus Stonehill. They're sitting 5-6 in conference now. They had lost 3 in a row before that to Stonehill, Wagner, and they got their revenge win versus Stonehill. Had a win or a loss versus Lemoyne before that. Mercyhurst is coming off a loss versus Chicago State, then an overtime win versus St. Francis, 2 of the lower teams in the conference. And I think it's easy to look at that and say that this Mercyhurst team isn't that good. But if we look at the body of work they'd put on before that, this team has played amazing. FDU, outside of that win versus Stonehill, has not looked good at all. I think this is just a gift of a line to be able to get Mercyhurst on the road as a dog. I have Mercyhurst. Let me look at the line really quick. Plus 2.5, minus 110. I also think they're live to win it outright. This might be one of the ones I hit with a half unit.
So you said Mercyhurst. Hold on, I'm sorry. All right, I got American plus 6.5. The next one is Mercyhurst plus what's the number?
2.5.
All right, there we go. All right, let's go on to Oklahoma State, Arizona. Someone picked this game too. I didn't add this one.
Goddamn right we did.
Actually, I think people were talking about this game in the Discord too. I think there's people interested in this one. Surprisingly.
Oh, there's people interested because of what I gave out.
Oh, okay. All right. What did you give out?
Well, like I told you guys going into Oklahoma State's last game, this team is not to be messed with. And as you saw, they put belt to ass to BYU, almost put up 100 on them. We're going right back to the well. Oklahoma State plus 21.5. Oklahoma State on the money line. And yes, I did bet this at plus 3,000.
No, you didn't, dude.
Yes, I did. I already gave it out. No, just a quarter unit.
Okay.
You bet the plus 3,000 money line on Oklahoma State.
Yeah. So, like I talked about, I feel like Oklahoma State is very similar to Florida. How I felt about Florida a couple weeks ago is that I felt like they were one of the more undervalued teams in the country that are only going to continue to get better. And I feel the same way about this Oklahoma State team. Again, the Oklahoma loss was bad on a neutral, but losing on the road to Texas Tech, losing on the road to Iowa State, losing on the road to TCU, and then losing at home at Iowa State aren't bad losses. The Baylor loss at home, obviously, that was a terrible loss, but Baylor had to get right, and Baylor had to shoot well sooner or later. It is what it is. But this is more about Arizona and the market value that obviously is sky high. They haven't lost whenever they've stepped up in competition. They've been fine, yada, 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 including that BYU game. But we've seen, obviously, that BYU almost came back in that game, and we'll get to BYU in the second half of the game when we get to that game. But take a look at what Arizona's had to deal with over the last couple of weeks. Matter of fact, I mean, you take out the BYU game, which was good. I mean, you take out the BYU game, this team hasn't played a good team since Christmas. And now, keep in mind that you have a rivalry game with Arizona State here coming up, and now they're coming home to play this Oklahoma State team. And then after this is when the Arizona season starts. Kansas on the road, Texas Tech at home, BYU at home, Houston on the road. This is like the sandwich spot or sleepy spot or whatever spot you want to use for Arizona. This is it. And I think that this Oklahoma State team, do I think that they're actually going to win on the money line? No, but I got plus 3,000. It's already down. I don't even know. I think I've got really good CLB with that. But regardless, this is a Oklahoma State team that hasn't had a lot of punches to punch up, but they've also played this Iowa State team twice. They played with them within double digits. I really think that they have an opportunity to keep this game close. Again, the money line is an absolute shot. It's plus 3,000 for a reason. But as far as 21 or 20.5 is concerned, that number is absolutely ridiculous.
It's also gone.
Believe. Oh, okay.
It's 19.5 now. Even
Oh, okay.
19.
I was going to say it's truly a ridiculous number for this Oklahoma State team.
I told you though. I took a plus 19.5. I'm not taking the money line. I'm not taking the money line. But Spoon. Any thoughts? Number too big? Do you agree with them?
I disagree with them. I think this is an Arizona spot. If we look at what they've done at home, they've blown out every single team they played, not named Arizona State. I think they do the same to Oklahoma State here. I was on them versus Utah the other night. I thought they could get a win versus the worst team in the conference. I was absolutely blown away. Really impressed with Toscall there versus BYU, but that just absolutely skyrockets your value. I think this number should be closer to 23 to 24. It coming down is not something I agree with. It's not something I've moved on, but I mean, if I see a bunch of market movement down on it, I might have to move on the other side.
The comments loving the pick. First comment I looked down and read said toast smells like hot dog water. Next up, Toledo James Madison. Spoon, I already know it's you. You're a Toledo fan or a closeted Toledo fan. What, he pretends not to be a Toledo fan.
Closeted.
Isn't that what closeted means?
I just thought it was funny.
Like a secret. It's like a secret Toledo
No,
fan.
I got it. I just thought it was. I haven't heard that term used in so long.
I enjoy decent basketball, and it's the best decent basketball close to me that I can get to on a regular basis. So I see a lot of Toledo basketball live. I enjoy it. Them versus JMU on the road here, I think is a really nice spot for Toledo. This team has been struggling in conference. They're sitting 6-5, coming off a tough loss versus Kent State. They were in both of the Kent State games, had leads in both of the games, lost both of them. So they could easily be sitting here 8-3 right now. And now they're getting a little break in conference play, hitting the road, going down to James Madison. A lot of the times this is a spot where I look to fade an Ohio team hitting the road, but James Madison is not a good team. We look at what they've done in conference. They're sitting 4-8, 2 in their last 7. I just think this is not a good basketball team. James Madison has a really brand name attached to it, but since Preston Spalding's come over, James Madison has taken a step down in their production overall. And I think Toledo, you're catching them in a bad spot. This is a offense that is really clicking on all cylinders. And the big question mark with them all season is if they can play defense. And for the last 2 or 3 weeks, it seems like they've been able to do it for about 20 minutes. But the last few games, the defense they're putting on versus Kent State, it's so hard to play good defense. To be able to keep them to 75 points is impressive, in my opinion. Gave up 87 to them in that first matchup. I think they can keep James Madison off the board, and I think Toledo's offense can walk away with this. Leroy Blyden Jr., if you have availability to bet player props, this kid's going to go off tomorrow. I think he's got a really good matchup on the man-to-man defense that James Madison's going to throw at him.
I like how Spoon goes, yeah, I enjoy decent basketball, and Toledo's a good basketball team. It's the closest good basketball team I can go and watch. And I look down in the comments, and the first comment is, Toledo basketball is caca.
Caca.
Toast, any thoughts here? We already knew Spoon was picking Toledo. He loves that team.
No, go ahead.
Pretends not to be a fan.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good on this one. Pretends not to be a fan.
I've faded Toledo multiple times. I went to the building with a ticket on the other team. Like, it's just a team that I have a good pulse on. I enjoy.
That was the game after you went to the ticket with a Vermont ticket in hand. Our game with a Vermont ticket in hand.
Speaking of people that
I haven't
don't
seen Vermont in a couple of years.
Speaking of people that don't have a good pulse on a team, Toast is going to spew some UNLV shit. Toast has talked about every single UNLV game this year, tried to repeatedly convince us that UNLV is a good team. So go ahead. UNLV plus 3.5. It's mispriced, whatever you're about to say. I'll put it up for you.
I mean, it is a pretty short number for the Grand Canyon team that's so good. I mean, this number should be 10.5. I think Grand Canyon's so good, right, Spoon?
I mean, Kempom makes this number 3. I think it's a ton of respect to Pastner and his ability to punch up in conference. I don't think we should ignore that Utah State win. That is a very impressive win. They also beat Boise State. I think Grand Canyon is a great team. I expect them to win this game, but I expect this game to come down to the last couple of possessions. And when you're talking about that and one team has 3.5 in their hand, I'm not going to get in the way of it. I really like this Grand Canyon roster. We were talking about the Drew brothers the other day. This is Bryce Drew. He's been at Grand Canyon now for a while. This is their first year over in the Mountain West Conference, getting used to everything. I think they're going to take care of the games they're supposed to, and they should win this game. This much action is on the board. I'm not going to play this. If Grand Canyon was sitting at 2, I would press the button, but at 3.5, I'm not going to.
Go ahead, Toast.
I was being dead serious. I know that the Ken Palm line has this at 3, but it seems like Grand Canyon, not Spoon at all, but it seems like Grand Canyon seems like everybody's new favorite team to bet because they've been winning games pretty convincingly, especially the games that they do win. But I haven't bet UNLV. And Kyle is right. I do have a love affair with this team, but the Fresno loss on the road was absolute bullshit. I had them, I think, plus 110. I think they closed minus 120 or something like that. I think they gave up 5 points in the last under the last second of the game or something like that. Crazy bullshit. It is what it is. And then the previous 3 games to that, they played a Nevada team on the road. That's not an easy place to play. And then they played San Diego State and New Mexico, 2 of the top teams in the Mountain West. And then the other top team is Utah State, and they beat that team on the road, by the way. So I think that this number is short for a reason. I think UNLV is live here. The reason that I'm not going to play them is because they haven't particularly played well at home so far this year. So I need to see it first. But it would only be UNLV for me, obviously.
UNLV is caca. I'm not telling that. All right, let's move on.
I haven't heard that term since
I forgot it
4th
existed. But he broke it out to insult Toledo, and I appreciated it. All right, let's go to the SEC. We still got some really good games left on the board. There's a couple awesome ones at the end of this. Seton Hall, Creighton, and then Duke, North Carolina. Georgia, LSU. Why is this number so short? I mean, I know LSU it's not last year's LSU team, but they're not a good SEC team.
I think part of it is that Georgia hasn't been fantastic over the last couple of weeks. I mean, they've lost 4 of their last 6.
Yeah, but they played much tougher competition than LSU.
Oh, I agree. I part of it, I think LSU's at home. I have Georgia on the money line minus 104. I think it's around 120 right now. I would still play it around that number as long as you get 1.5. But like Kyle talked about, Georgia went on the road. Georgia had been playing really well. I mean, their losses are on the road at Florida, especially on the road.
Comment coming in, LSU starting point guard is out tomorrow.
I've heard that. I didn't know if that was 100%. Do you know anything about that, Spoon? Because it should be. I have De'Don Thomas circled. I know he's missed the last couple of games, but I assume that he was going to be out as well. But man, I thought I had that written down. But regardless, go ahead.
He has missed the last game. I don't think it's official that he's out tomorrow, but I haven't seen an injury report or anything. I wouldn't expect him to play at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just personally think that Georgia's the much better team. I know that the Ken Palm rankings only have them like 10 spots different or anything like that. But like Sauce talked about, Georgia's kind of been ran through the gauntlet, especially the last 3 games. That road win against Texas, they played well in the first half, and then in the second half, Texas just couldn't miss at all. They ended up shooting, I think, 70% from the field in that game. But and then Georgia comes back home. They play a really good Tennessee team that's playing really well to 1 in overtime. Then they kind of get ran out of the gym a little bit versus Texas A&M. But they were close in that game towards the halftime. They were close in that game. So I don't think the final score is indicative to exactly how that game was played. So my point to that is that I'm not really worried about Georgia on the road versus an LSU team that I don't think is very good. Their home court's not that great anyway. To get them at nearly a pick 'em, I thought was kind of a steal.
Yeah, I think I can still get, I'm scrolling to find it. Yeah, I can still get a minus 115. I'm in.
I'm doing the same thing and pressing the button on the 115. I think it's a nice buy low on Georgia. We look at them; they have losses versus Texas, Tennessee, and Texas A&M in consecutive games. I was on the Tennessee and Texas A&M spots on the opposite side of Georgia here. I think this is a nice buy low on this team. This is a significant step down in competition, in my opinion. And on the opposite side, we're looking at the LSU team that just came off back-to-back games versus Mississippi State and South Carolina, two of the worst teams in this conference. I don't think Georgia is at the top of this conference, but they're definitely not at the bottom. And I think this is a spot where we're getting a significantly lower line than what we should be getting, especially if LSU is going to be missing their starting point guard tomorrow. I'm going to be on Georgia with you guys tomorrow. I just pressed the button on minus 115 money line.
Yep, I just did too. Let's do it. All right, next up. Whoops. Gonzaga is in Corvallis. Toast's worst nightmares going to Corvallis. Especially when you have a Gonzaga team that might be broken.
I don't think it's a might. I don't think there's any question about that.
I just watched the Portland Sea Dogs hang like 97 on them.
Yeah. The under streak is dead.
It's all over.
I would still lean under in this game as well. I didn't bet this game, but it would only be under Oregon State for me. Oregon State, I mean, they're not playing absolutely terrible. I mean, I know that they got destroyed versus St. Mary's, but that game was on the road. They did beat a pretty good Seattle team at home. Again, and I honestly, with the way that Gonzaga is constructed right now, I don't know how much better that Gonzaga is than St. Mary's and Seattle, if I'm being dead honest with you guys. So EK's back. He's obviously big for them. He came in and scored 24 points of meaningless points, by the way, against Portland. And like I've said, while we were playing these unders, I don't feel like Gonzaga is the same team without him and Huff inside. And if they can't get it, if you're asking, all you're going to do is ask Graham EK to carry you because nobody else on this team can really do anything. It's just a lot to ask. So it would only be Oregon State for me. I think that betting this number with Gonzaga is just absolutely ridiculous. Just so many things have to go right for this team to cover a number like this. So it would only be Oregon State for me.
I'm good with nothing. Spoon, you have any opinion?
I agree with the Oregon State spot. I wanted to look at Gonzaga off a loss. I saw last time they took a loss, it was to Michigan, and they came back versus Kentucky and won by 35 points. But that was when Gonzaga was at a much different spot with their roster health. And I think they are a little bit broken right now. I think this is a really tough building to go into. And I think it's a little bit of a sleepy spot. I like Oregon State here. I don't like it enough to press the button.
Yeah, I'm good on this one. Let's move on.
Gonzaga off a loss is pretty good off the last few seasons. But again, they're just not a great team right now.
Tough to fade them off a loss. That's probably what's keeping me.
Maybe
if they just lost to Portland, I would hit the button.
Maybe the old Gonzaga. This Gonzaga sucks. Mercer Samford. Who picked this beauty?
That's me. I have a Mercer ticket. Double check the odds on that really quick. So Mercer is one of the better teams in conference. They've been significantly cut down in their numbers in recent play. They're coming off a loss, and their roster is still very healthy. I think that loss just buries their market value here. They're on the road, so you also lose some of that value. But I don't think Samford has much of a home court, in my opinion. And I think Mercer should be laying closer to 3.5 to 5 points here. So to be able to get Mercer, I believe I have the money line. Hold on. Mercer money line minus 115. I just couldn't pass it up.
Either you guys have any Toast?
Nope, nothing. But shout out to everybody. Over 700 people in here on whatever time it is on the East Coast on a Friday night.
1:30 a.m.
You guys are awesome.
Let's move on. Yeah, wow. There's a lot of people in here. Santa Clara. Oh, we still got the Spoon. We still got your game coming up in 3 spots. It just popped up. All right, Santa Clara. What? The game? You texted me privately to tell me to bet this. I'm excited for this game, Spoon. But we'll get there.
Oh, it's got to be Illinois then. Okay.
Yeah, damn right. I was like, Spoon has never individually texted me for a bet before. I'm taking this now. All right. Santa Clara, Washington State.
Oh, yeah. I got to play in this one, fellas.
I already know. This is right in your wheelhouse. Santa Clara, whose meat you gargle, and then Pullman, your hometown.
Correct. So what's the play?
You tell what?
Oh, I thought you
Hometown kid right there.
You
I thought
tell
you were
me.
going to say it like you knew the side.
He's
Sorry,
playing
my
Santa
bad.
Clara.
My bad. Washington State plus 8.5. Washington State money line plus 320. Let's get it on. Okay. So, first and foremost, I do think that this is a pretty big. I mean, this is not a bad Washington State team. I just want to point that out there. I think that they're a little bit better than a lot of people give them credit for. I also think that Santa Clara so far on the road has not been have the ability. They can play inside, but they have not shown the ability to shoot the three ball over the last, against Pacific, Loyola, San Diego, Gonzaga, and Portland. The Portland, they were 10 for 27. You can take that. Really not shooting well in conference play on the road. And that really matters to me because on top of the fact that Santa Clara, those numbers that I just talked about, Oregon State, seventh in the conference in 3-point shooting, Portland 10, San Diego 6, LMU 8, Pacific 3. And you have Washington State coming in here at number 2 in the conference at shooting the 3-point ball, and they have been absolutely lights out from home. I can't hold on. Let me get it out so I can get you guys the numbers. But Washington State at home in conference play has been lights out from the 3-point line. 10 for 23 versus Loyola, 9 for 26 versus Oregon State, 13 for 28 versus Gonzaga, 13 for 37 versus Pepperdine, 8 for 19 versus Seattle, 16 for 31 versus Portland. This offense is what you have to worry about. And if Santa Clara is not hitting the 3-ball, I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people think it's going to be. And if Washington State is shooting the 3-ball like I think they can, and Santa Clara is struggling, the variance alone tells me that Washington State's going to keep this game close and they have a chance to win. So obviously I like the 8.5 much more than the money line.
You can still, there is still an 8.5 or 2 out there. For the most part, it's 7.5, but I see 1 8.5. I see a couple 8s. So if you look, you can still get that 8.5. Maybe I might have to pay a few cents for it. What do you think, Spoon? I put Washington State up because when Toe said it, you went like this.
It's really difficult trying to fade Santa Clara. This is one of the better mid-major teams in the country, but I think this is a nice spot to try to get to Washington State. They're off of that Oregon State loss, and I thought this number was a little bit big. I thought Santa Clara would be laying something closer to 5. Ken Palm disagrees with me. They have this number at 8, so maybe that's just something that's wrong with my calculation of this, but I agree that Washington State is undervalued here. Santa Clara looks great on paper, but this is going to be a tough road game for them. Coming off that Pacific win that they played really well in, they have to go play Seattle next. They know that Seattle game is going to be tough. If you're looking at one of these 2 games and you're the coach playing these games within 4 days, I think there's a little bit of a look ahead here. I could only be in Washington State here. I think Santa Clara wins it, but I haven't bet it.
Also, this is their 3rd straight road game with only a few days to prep, and 3 of their last 4 games have been on the road for Santa Clara. So 4th game and 5th games is going to be on the road for them. It's just a terrible spot for Santa Clara. And I'm super high on Santa Clara.
I just took a juiced Washington State plus 8.5. So I'm
Remember when people argued that they couldn't beat Kentucky on a neutral?
And now you guys are saying they can't even beat Washington State in Pullman. Oh, the mighty.
Wait, no,
8.5.
you didn't say they can't beat them. It's 7.5. It's over 2 possessions.
Yeah.
This isn't a football game.
It's cool. You can dial back your bad take, both of you.
Also, Kentucky's 7-3 in the SEC right now, so we'll see.
That's what I'm saying. Kentucky, and I took them on the money line against somebody. No one liked it. Everyone laughed at me. Arkansas.
Yeah, Kentucky can't play with pace. Sendick would wreck Kentucky right now.
I know. I agree.
So we got this Seton Hall Creighton game, and then we'll get into Duke, North Carolina, and a few good ones after this. So Creighton just bit me in the ass the other day. I took Creighton plus 2.5, closed at +1. I actually thought it was a great bet too. Georgetown looked like, I watched pretty much the whole game, and Georgetown was the better team. Like, they were just straight up better. Not saying they're better, period, but they were definitely better in that game. So I'm taking a step back on Creighton. I do think back at home against a Seton Hall team that can't score, if you can get an affordable price, you play Creighton. But what do you guys think?
I
don't want to bet either one of these teams is what I think. I would take the points if I gun to my head. I would take the points, but not something I'm looking to get involved in.
Any interest, Spoon?
I'm interested in Seton Hall. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. Historically, you would look at these teams and say that Creighton would have one of the better offenses in the conference and Seton Hall would have one of the better defenses in the conference. And I think it's true that Seton Hall does have one of the better defenses in the conference, but I don't think Creighton has that offense this year. And it's reflected in the numbers. Their effective field goal percentage is still pretty high, but I think Seton Hall's defense can step up here in this game. This is something I'm going to look at live. Seton Hall has just such a amazing value in the second half. They completely just change all their schemes defensively, put so much more pressure on. I've done it a few times this season, hopping on them at halftime down. And if somehow Creighton's up at the half, I'm going to press the button on Seton Hall.
We got TV Jones and sports scientist Jacob both saying Creighton is the play. In fact, TV Jones used the L word. He said Creighton's a lock. If that changes.
McDermott is a lock. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. In that case, it's still Seton Hall or pass for me.
I'd probably just switch it to money line.
Next up. Well, Duke, North Carolina doesn't get much better than this.
Facts.
I will say that I feel like this rivalry, other rivalries in college basketball have caught up to it. This used to be like the shit, and now it's like, dude, Texas Tech, Houston is every bit as fun. You know, like
it's North Carolina's fault. It's North Carolina's fault. They've dropped off.
I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily that North Carolina has dropped off. I think it's just the Big 12 and SEC are more exciting basketball conferences, to be honest, as a whole.
ACC has dropped off as a whole, but I mean, we just look. I mean, going back multiple years now, Hubert Davis has not done well versus Duke. I don't think this is a rivalry that's at the best point. I mean, that's what makes rivalries. It's not when both teams are the best, but that they're still alive when one team's down. I don't think North Carolina is that down this year. Coming off 4 consecutive wins, their best win in that stretch was Virginia on the road. Now they get Duke at home. I think this was a little bit of a look-ahead spot for North Carolina. They won that game versus Syracuse by 10 points. I think that was a game they probably could have won by 30 points if they wanted to. So I think they were really prepping for Duke. I think they have this game circled. I think it means a lot to them. I think Davis is going to try to get one over on Shire here. I can only be on North Carolina with the points. Duke has the better players. There's 3 or 4 NBA players on this team. Shire's a great coach. I have no question whether he can win this game on the road or not. I know he can, but 2 possessions is a lot. This is still a rivalry. I expect North Carolina fans to be very rowdy.
I kind of want to take the money line. But Toast.
Yeah.
Wait, what? You're not taking Duke?
No.
Let's go.
No.
I thought you were about to take Duke.
No.
Are you betting the money line?
I didn't, but I will if you'd like to.
What did you take the points? Did you bet it? You got a 5.5?
Yeah, I've already bet it. It's been posted for a little bit. Yeah. So for me, as far as this rivalry is concerned, I think it's 5-5 ATS the last 10. So nothing huge there. I think it's 6-4 or something like that to the over I looked at. But regardless, I have made a lot of money betting this Duke team this year. So it's not, this isn't easy for me. But I will say that this is by far their hardest competition since that Texas Tech game in which they lost on a neutral. And some people might say, well, but Toast, they played Louisville twice. Well, one of those games they played Louisville. Louisville didn't have Michael Brown Jr. and the other one he had just gotten back. So I don't really know how much I really even put into those Louisville wins. They won, congratulations. But beating teams like Boston College, Virginia Tech, Wake, Stanford, Cal, SMU doesn't really do it for me. Florida State. So can North Carolina match up and compete with Duke, and how are they going to do it? Well, I think they can, because if there is one team in the country that can match up with Duke's size, it's definitely North Carolina, and they can definitely play inside with them, because Caleb Wilson's probably an NBA player too. So I don't want to say that he takes out Boozer, but those two matching up is going to be an absolute cinema for sure. But if there's one thing that we also know with Duke is that they're going to allow you to shoot the three ball, and North Carolina has multiple guys that can beat you with the three ball, whether it be Vessier or Trimble or that Bobovich kid or that Derek Dixon kid. He doesn't shoot it very much, but he's still shooting over 40% from deep. There's a lot of players on this North Carolina that can shoot the three ball well, and if they just need a couple of guys to get going, and if that's the case, I think they're really live here. Again, it's not like a pure fate of Duke or anything like that, but like I said, they haven't played anybody since before Christmas that's even remotely close to this North Carolina team. And even Texas Tech doesn't really match up with them size-wise, not nearly. I mean, Texas Tech, I think, is like
They have the one that kid Toppin. That's the only
Yeah, they're like 260 in height or something like that. North Carolina is like 3 or something like that. So I just feel like there's only advantages here for North Carolina. Is it very possible they can't shoot from 3 and Duke blows them out? Sure, but I think it's more likely that we see a closer game here and North Carolina has a chance to steal one.
And if you look at Duke's schedule and look at when they saw those like upper echelon NBA caliber type talent teams, they lost by 1 to Texas Tech. They beat Michigan State by 6, who's probably North Carolina just has a ton of talent. Florida they beat by 1. Yeah, I don't know. The 5.5 is too many. Duke's been bullying everybody they see. Yeah, let's go. I'm in.
And the game that they played against Kansas that they won by 12, Darian Peterson didn't play.
Oh yeah, and we've seen how much of a difference he makes.
Exactly.
Guy's a freak. All right. Clemson Cal. I think I added this one, or did you? One of you guys pick this one?
I might have clicked it, but maybe not. I really want to bet Cal here personally. I think they're a little bit better than people give them credit for, and I think that Clemson's coming off a game against Stanford, which they easily could have lost, and now they are in the second game of this West Coast road trip, and you have a Cal team that's actually hasn't been terrible against upper echelon competition. And I just don't think that Clemson's that great. I wanted like 3.5. I wanted over a full possession personally, so I didn't bet it, but I thought this game was decent to talk about because Clemson's one of the better teams in the ACC, but I don't really love the spot for them. If I can get Cal plus 3.5 or better, I might make a small bet on them.
You agree with that, Spoon? Cal at plus 3.5 or better?
I think Clemson somehow sitting at 9-1 in conference play is undervalued. I don't know anybody that I talk to in this space that respects this team at all. I think on the road here, there might be a little bit of value with Clemson. I don't have that much respect for Cal. If this was a pick 'em, I'd be on Clemson. At 3, I'm off, but I still think it's a Clemson till 4.5.
All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, Spoon. Let's do it. Illini time.
Got notes.
Yeah, well,
he's been reading the papers.
He's got the papers out.
It's the joke. I've been doing this, guys, for years and years and years. Everything I do gets written down on a yellow notebook pad. Everything.
For reasons unknown.
Kyle hates it.
Yeah, I'm just completely inefficient. I hate inefficiency.
It works for me because it helps me remember.
You know, you can like write down like on like an iPad and it will like transfer it to like text, and then you could like sort those notes. And there's like note taking like apps. I've been looking at a couple of those. You could put one of those on Sauce and then just like sort all of Sauce's thoughts. That'd be fun to insert into an AI algorithm.
My handwriting is like a 4-year-old, so I don't think
you can literally just have a thing and talk to it, and it'll write the notes for you.
It just seems like a lot of work.
If it can pick up my son's handwriting, I feel like it can pick up yours.
All right, Spoon. Man. Illinois. I tailed. Let's do it.
This is a huge game. Illinois, Michigan State. Really hard to fade Michigan State at home. Tom Izzo, one of the best coaches in my lifetime. I think he's in a lot of people's like Mount Rushmore of coaches, but I feel like this is a really bad spot. Jeremy Fears, one of the most important players on this team. I don't know really what you want to call it. It's a Grayson Allen situation, what he's done here in the last few games. Some just really terrible fouls, technical fouls, whatever you want to call them. I think there's a less than 25% chance he starts tomorrow. he's going to play minutes in this game. I'll be surprised if it's more than 25. They need him to play well if they're going to have a chance to win this game. But at the same time, Izzo has to make a statement in this game to Jeremy Fears moving forward. And I feel like Izzo has the credence, the ability as a head coach at this point in time to do whatever he wants. And I think sending a message to him is going to be important. I think Illinois has the better roster. Michigan State is facing injuries. We look at this team last year, they had like 4 different players that could make their own shot going down the floor. Right now with the injury situation and what's facing Fears, I mean, they have 0 to 1 players coming down the floor that can create their own shot. They're relying solely on their defense, and this Illinois offense is on a different level. I think Illinois has the ability to blow Michigan State out tomorrow. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's definitely within the range of outcomes. And I think Illinois at plus 1.5, minus 110, I believe there's still one out there right now, is a really good price. I think this closes as Illinois is a short favorite. I think more news is going to come out about the Jeremy Fears situation tomorrow. I think by game time, when people realize he's not in the starting lineup, I think there's going to be a huge move. And I think we're going to see this like Illinois -2 close. And I think we're going to feel really nice about this as the game starts. As the game goes on, it still Izzo at home, Michigan State. It's tough to be on it, but I think this closes well. I think it's a really good wager.
Yeah, I tailed. I'm on Illinois also. Now we have Illinois Jen in the comments. Jen, who's from Illinois, and it said, mysteriously, Illinois' best players always end up in foul trouble in the Breslin Center. Jen's got her Illinois tinfoil hat on, it seems. Toast, do you agree with our moves here?
I mean, what have I been saying for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, guys? There's one team that you guys need to worry about. It's Illinois, especially in this Big Ten conference. So why do I like Illinois here? Okay, first of all, and I texted Spoon this as well. Go ahead. I personally think that you're still going to see, you might not see Fears start, but I still think you're going to see 30 plus minutes from him. My issue, and the reason that I say that is this: he's by far their best player, and they're one guy that can create his own shot, or at least make shots consistently. And he's played essentially 30 minutes, almost damn near or close to it, almost every game. So, and if they're going to sit him, I get that he's been doing the kicking and stuff like that, but if they're going to sit him for multiple minutes, I don't think that Michigan State has a chance in this game. But I just wanted to say that because I capped this game assuming that Fears is going to play 30 minutes. But if there's one thing that we know about Sparta is that they can play defense, and they're really good. They have a very, very good rim denial. They don't let you get to the bucket. They don't let you get easy points. They really force you to shoot the 3 ball. And if you look at what Michigan State has done so far in Big Ten play, they've really limited teams to shoot the 3 ball. Iowa shot 7 of 23. USC shot 3 of 17. Northwestern 6 of 26. Indiana 10 of 31. Maryland 6 of 26, and then Michigan 8 of 21. So no one's really shot very well against Michigan State or when they're at home. So what gives me confidence that Illinois can shoot well? Because they've been absolutely lights out on the road in conference play. 11 for 27 versus Iowa State, 10 for 28 versus Iowa, 18 for 38 versus Purdue, 9 for 30 against Nebraska, but they also went 15 from 24 from the field in that game. This offense is just on a completely another level. And yes, in that same breath, you can talk about Illinois defensively on the road, especially against top 50 competition like Michigan State is. Their defense hasn't been there, but the issue is they're not really forcing turnovers. And if I'm not really worried about that with Michigan State, especially with Fears being up and down, I just thought I got Illinois plus 100 as well. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we're getting this team at plus 100. Maybe this is the game with a really good defense that they start to miss Boswell, but with the way that Keaton Wagler has been playing, I know that he had a little bit of a down game last game, but he still shot 3 for 5 from deep. So until somebody slows him down from deep, I have a hard time fading this Illinois team. So to get them at plus money was a bet for me.
Well, Jen said Keaton Wagler got a haircut and it may affect his shooting. Couldn't tell if she was joking or not.
Dude, no, she's probably right. That affected Framber Valdez too. As soon as he put the fake hair on, the long fake hair, shit went out the window.
So someone in the comments said everyone in here is picking Illinois. It's because Toast gave out Illinois early, Spoon gave out Illinois early, and then I tailed. So all three of us have been on Illinois for like 12 hours. So of all the people watching, there's 700 people in there. I would say 500 of them were already aware that we were all in Illinois, and many of whom have already tailed. That poll might be skewed because we've been on Illinois for like 12 hours now. I very seriously doubt 80% of the public is betting Illinois. It's just like we have a very skewed poll here. All right, Spoon, tell us how great Seattle is. We know he's about to.
They're really great. All right, they're one of the
really
best
great.
teams.
Except for
I have Seattle minus 2.5. I'm trying to find the juice. I have minus 110, I believe. I think this is a great spot to get on Seattle. Portland's coming off a huge win versus Gonzaga, the biggest win you could possibly ever get in this conference. This team is still sitting 4-8 in conference play. That's for a reason. They're not that great. Gonzaga puked that game away. Portland played the best game of basketball they could have all season. Let's not forget, Seattle also took Gonzaga to overtime. I mean, it's not something this team's incapable of. And I think Chris Victor and the Seattle team are a little bit undervalued right now, sitting 4-7 in conference play. Huge step up from them going into the West Coast Conference. These teams like Pepperdine, Portland, Oregon State, these are the wins they're going to have to get when they're here. And Portland, after that win versus Gonzaga, you're never going to get them at a higher value. To only have to lay one possession with Seattle here is a gift, in my opinion, and I'm not going to pass it up. Seattle minus 2.5, minus 110.
Toast, you down with that? Fade Portland off the big upset?
No, I'm not personally.
Yeah,
but
he watched him play good against Gonzaga. He's not going to fade that.
Yeah,
too.
But you also neglected to say that the previous three games that they lost before that to St. Mary's Pacific and Washington State, all three of those teams are at least a point better, if not more, than Seattle is. There's not a question about that. So
I'm not telling.
Portland was the team that we put with Seattle, and we asked, like, we put them as the same or similar.
I agree. And guess what? Seattle still hasn't won a game on the road. So until they even show up on the road,
still haven't won one.
I think they beat UTSA, who's one of the worst teams in college basketball on the road, or something like that. But since the beginning of November, they haven't beat anybody on the road. So I don't know what their record is at the beginning.
Going to Gonzaga on the road, forcing overtime, definitely that's not impressive. That's something we should throw away, not think about.
Well, I mean, Portland beat.
Well, do you want to keep doing that? Do you want to talk about the Oregon State game where they lost by 13?
Well, I mean, that's just a weird. Portland just beat Gonzaga.
Are you gonna compare Corvallis to Portland State's home court atmosphere? Let's do that.
I'm gonna say that until Seattle wins a game on the road or even looks competitive in conference play, there's not a chance in hell I lay over a possession with them. That's what I think.
They haven't won a road game in a long time.
This number should be 5.
That is wild.
That is they haven't won a road game in a long time. That is crazy. I'm good on this one.
I agree that it's a bad spot for Portland after that Gonzaga win. But at the same time, if you look at the losses, the only really bad loss that they have since the beginning of is
Portland loses that game by 25. This number's 5 right now.
No, not with Kempon making it 1. No way.
Dude, this is the most loaded day. We still have Florida, Texas A&M. We still have Houston, BYU to do. Like, how do we still have 5 games left? This slate is freaking crazy.
I like that the Seattle game is the one that we're going to get the most heated on throughout the entire night.
Yeah. Well, I'm not familiar with that conference. I just don't think you're seeing things clearly with Seattle. And friends, look out for friends.
Appreciate it.
All right. Florida
167 now? 168? Whatever.
Yeah, it's Texas A&M. Why? What did you bet? You bet
163?
Oh, wow. Okay.
The other side of the 163?
The good side. Put it that way.
Okay. I was like, what?
So you're on the over 163?
Yeah, I'm over 163.5. I want nothing to do with it at this number. But a couple notes just really quickly. Texas A&M continues to be the most disrespected team in the country. This numbers came down. I think it was at 7.5, but 15-7 ATS. I think that's top 10 in the country for sure. Why do I want to play the over? Well, pace. First of all, both these teams like to play up and down, and Florida is going to absolutely tear Texas A&M part inside, just like they did to Alabama. And I think that Texas A&M is going to be able to beat Florida from the 3-point line because they're very efficient and they jack up a whole bunch of threes to make it efficient. So again, this number's completely climbed, but it would only be points for me. Do I want to bet Texas A&M? Kinda, but in my heart of hearts, I still think that Florida wins this game by 10 plus, but we shall see.
I kind of wanted to drop low and grab Florida. What do you think, Spoon?
I disagree with that statement of dropping low and getting Florida. I agree with the statement that A&M's one of the more disrespected teams in the country. I said earlier this season that Buckyball's yet to be proven to be successful at the upper echelon of D1 basketball, and I think they've proven it over and over again in these last few games that it is very successful. 97 points versus Alabama in a loss on the road is not a bad game at all. That's the game that A&M is coming off of. They had rallied off 4 wins right before that, including versus Texas and Georgia, a double overtime game versus Tennessee. This is going to be a close game versus Florida. Florida also plays with a up-tempo offense. It's not as much as what A&M, but there's going to be a ton of possessions in this game. I love Toast look on the over. I'm glad he's got a bunch of CLV there. I think that definitely hits. I don't even think the number right now is off the board. I think this is one of those games that could probably push 190, 200 by the end of it. And I think A&M is live in this game. I haven't moved on this game. Florida is a good basketball team. They haven't had the best record at this point in the season, but they played some really good teams. But I just think Buckyball is one of those things that can hit you in the face. And I don't think Todd Golden's ready for it tomorrow.
I don't think this is the best team Texas has seen all year. Texas A&M has seen all year. I think Florida's about to.
Yeah, it's not even close. That's
even close.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to get like Florida -4. I don't know if that's realistic.
I am not, and I am not trying to take anything.
Hold on. Away. They're going to do the same thing. Florida's going to try to play fast with Buckyball. Like A&M is in the second half of the season. These kids are conditioned so well. They have run up and down the court 15 times more than what Florida has run.
Florida just routed Alabama. They went into Vanderbilt and ran with them.
Sounds like a buy high. That's probably a good thing to do.
Here's my only thing with Texas A&M in this game. I guess in this game in general is that when they've stepped up in competition, they haven't looked good in any way, shape, or form. And the only time that they looked somewhat decent was the game versus Auburn. They won that game by 2 on the road, and Auburn completely pissed down their leg in the second half. So just take that for what it's worth. I just noticed that because I was trying to get to Texas A&M too, but I couldn't get over the fact that any time that they've stepped up in any somewhat of competition, they've lost those games.
All right, let's keep moving because it's 2 a.m. and we still have 5 games left somehow. All right. Tennessee, Kentucky, they're like good games too. Like it's not even like we're forcing games here. Tennessee, Kentucky. I did add this one. Neither of you guys selected it, so
hand up.
Kentucky getting some respect in the market right now.
Hand up. I was wrong about Tennessee.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Amen is the truth. I was wrong. I apologize to Rick Barnes in the city of Knoxville. I was wrong. I don't know what to think about Kentucky. My Avengers have me in a blender right now. I'm not going to lie. I do think that this is a significant step up in competition for them. They obviously played this game earlier this year. Tennessee lost that game by 2. Another game where I know some people hate when I say this. Tennessee completely pissed down their leg in the last 12 minutes of that game and completely gave it away. I want to bet Tennessee here. I was kind of seeing where I wanted to see where you guys were thinking, but I do think that Tennessee's the much better team, and we're getting points, and we have the best player on the floor, Nick Amen. I don't know. Until this kid slows down, I have a hard time looking away from Tennessee here. He has been absolutely on fire ever since the Florida game where he just kind of shit the bed. Ever since then, he's been on fire. It would only be Tennessee for me. If you guys are in, I'm in.
Yeah, well, I think the thing with Kentucky is the reason I took their money line against Arkansas was kind of like the Calipari revenge angle more than I actually thought. And then if you just take out that one, and I'm not suggesting we remove data points, but if you just take out that one win against Arkansas, they beat Oklahoma, they beat Ole Miss, they beat Texas, who I don't really think is very. I think Tennessee. What do you think, Spoon? I think Tennessee should be short favorite here.
Yeah, so, and if you continue to look back at the Kentucky wins, I mean, that's a really nice looking win versus St. John's, but that Kentucky team had an extra center on the team and an extra point guard that are currently not playing for Kentucky right now. So it was a much different Kentucky team back then. And I think Mark Pope has had to deal with losing some of their starters, some of their best players at the wrong time of the season, coming right into conference play right after that St. John's game. They're sitting 7-3 in conference. Pretty impressive for the injuries he's had to deal with. I've been on Tennessee here a few games in a row. I haven't pressed the number here yet. I think Kentucky's one of those teams that just demands money. People see this. It's a giant Saturday card. I'm not going to be surprised to see Tennessee at +3, +3.5 tomorrow. And if I get that number, I'll move, but I want the full possession in my pocket. I'm not ready to hit the money line with this Tennessee team one more time. Yes, they beat Auburn. Yes, they beat Mississippi. Yes, they beat Georgia, but I don't think Georgia and Kentucky are on the same level. Even Kentucky dealing with their injuries is a better team than what Georgia is. And Tennessee, it took overtime to get that win. So I want that full possession in my pocket. I won't play it without the 3.
Oh, you think it's all right? I don't think it's going to go up. I think it's going to move the other way. But all right, let's move on.
I'm not saying which way I think it'll move. I'm saying I won't play it.
Yeah, that's what you.
That's what I need.
I follow. All right.
I think Tennessee probably wins the game by more than that, but that's where I have to hit it.
Yeah.
Not to mention they're 1.5s across the board now.
Yeah, there's no the only 2.5 is a juiced one at Pinnacle. Boise State, New Mexico. Toast, I'm guessing it's you.
Damn right. This is what we call the definition of a rock fight, ladies and gentlemen. Under 153.5 is what I got it at. Still looks like it's pretty available there.
You sound confident about this. Am I about to tail this?
You just have I think these two teams, I think that the number is a little bit high because of some of the scores that Boise State has put out here lately, but at the same time, I know that New Mexico just completely fell on their face. I had them. The comments went crazy about New Mexico. They fell on their face against against Utah State just a few days ago at home in the pit. And now they get a Boise State team that's been up and down, I guess, to start the year, but more up than down lately. Their only loss was on the road to Grand Canyon, a team that I don't think is as good as New Mexico. Some might argue that they are. And that game would have went over this number, but you look at the history between these two teams, it's just like absolute rock fights. Neither one of these teams is playing with a whole bunch of pace. And if I'm being dead honest with you guys, I'm not really in love with either one of these offenses, but I do think that both of these defenses are top 50 in the country at least. Boise State does a really good job of rebounding as well. They don't send teams to the free throw line. There's a lot of things to like about the Boise defense. So I just think that possessions are going to be at a premium here. I do think that Boise can keep this game slow. I know that New Mexico's ran a little bit of a faster pace lately, but we've also seen them at times been able to be slowed down in conference play. So I think that there's certain games where, like against San Diego State and UNLV in that Utah State games, those possession counts look really high, but I don't think that it's really indicative of how the game went. Yeah, I really do like this under 153.5. Your boy Duck is on it as well, if that helps.
I just bet 153.5. No. I just traded. It was a trade. So, yeah, I'm in. I'm tailing. And it looks like I'm seeing 151.5 now. So it looks like that 153.5 I got was a little bit of a snipe job. Would you any thoughts on this one, Spoon, or should we move on? Oh, my God.
I was looking at Boise State just to win this game outright. This is a new coach for New Mexico this year, Eric Olin. He's a really good coach. But, I mean, if we look at the teams that New Mexico's had over the past few seasons, we're talking about NBA talent between Toppin and Dent. Like, you could say whatever you want about Patino. He's an amazing evaluator of talent. He had Toppin and Dent, guys that are making $3 million a piece this year, playing in New Mexico. Yeah, so the fact that New Mexico doesn't have to face any of those guys, they've always stepped up in competition to play New Mexico. I think this is one of those undervalued spots for Boise State. If there were less games on the board, I'd already be on this. I'll go back and forth on this, but there's a decent chance I wind up with Boise on my card.
All right. 3 games.
Yeah, it would only be Boise for me as well.
3 games remaining, and then we can call it a night. So the next one, Washington, UCLA. What do you guys think about this one?
Man, I really want to take Washington here. Obviously, I just lost with them against Iowa, and another one of those. Just that whole day, everything for me in the second half just went to shit. I think they even had the lead against Iowa in the first half, and then just ended up just getting absolutely throttled at home. And now they got to go on the road to UCLA, but I think they match up pretty damn well with UCLA. And I know that UCLA is coming off of a throttling of Rutgers, but at the same time, I mean, I do think this is a pretty significant step up in competition from what they've had to play at home as far as the earlier in the season is concerned, and through conference play. And on top of that, you have a Washington team that, on top of that, UCLA has Michigan on deck on the road here next week, which is obviously not a spot that I like, but I'm just not in a position where I feel like UCLA should be laying multiple possessions to a Washington team that, like I've continued to say, and I still feel even after they got blown out in the second half with Iowa, that they're still in a buy low situation here. All the losses that Washington have are really good losses if you want to look at it that way. They've played a top 5, maybe a top 10 schedule in the country as well. I just feel like the pace isn't going to be there enough for UCLA to blow them out in this game. I did say that about Rutgers as well, but I still feel the same way. Asking UCLA to win multiple games in a row by multiple possessions, I think, is a lot to ask. So if they've turned the corner, so be it. But I haven't bet this one, but it would only be Washington for me.
I'm good on this one, Spoon.
Yeah, I lean Washington as well. I think UCLA is in a nice little spot here with their home court, getting to play a bunch of back-to-back games on the West Coast. But Washington, obviously, also out there on the West Coast. Nice little buy low in them after that last game. They easily could have won that game. They were up 10 points in the second half. So I don't have a ton of faith in UCLA. This is a really large number for them to be laying.
Washington's guard, Manda Quit, the freshman, is out, by the way, according to a comment. Doesn't really look like he's been. He's been out since January 31st, but he's only averaging 5 points a game, 3 assists, so looks like a second unit guard. All right, 1 second.
The Hawaii kid.
All right, so this next one, you gotta we've never gone to 40 slides before, so I have to add graphics 39 to our to the list. 1 sec. Number 39. There we go.
Trailblazers on a Saturday.
We got a big one here. Oh, where'd my graphics go? Oh, here we go. Houston BYU. One of the biggest games of the day, and we saved it for, well, we didn't save it. We just went in order of start time. This one doesn't start till 10:30. I want to bet it. I want to take BYU.
Why?
I don't have a good reason.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you actually had a reason or not. That's why.
No, I think BYU is really good, but why is it only 1? It's like, give me BYU plus 3.5 here.
I mean, Houston doesn't really have great momentum on the road, like to most metrics and stuff. So that's that. For me, I think that we've seen the playbook with this BYU team, and I have it all written down here. My play is Houston first half. The lines aren't there yet, but let's just take a look at what are we going to be able to, what have we seen with BYU in the first halves of games going back this whole year now?
They're terrible in the first half.
Yeah, let's just go through it really quick. They were down 11 to UConn. They They were down 20 to Clemson. They were up 2 to Utah. They were down 6 to TCU. They were down 1 to Texas Tech. They were down 13 to Arkansas, 20 to Kansas. They were up 1 at Oklahoma State, or against Oklahoma State. This team's been absolutely terrible in the first half. And I will give you that Houston hasn't really, like I just talked about, Houston doesn't have really any road tests besides the Texas Tech game that are really notable. And obviously they lost that game, but I think that Texas Tech is significantly better than our BYU. I don't think that's a crazy statement either. And I honestly think that if BYU, you're just really asking a lot from this team, because I do feel like, okay, if Richie Saunders gets hot again, like, so be it. I mean, obviously we've seen him, especially in that Kansas game, the ability to do that, but I don't know what you're going to get out of Debanza with this Houston defense. And then you're just going to be asking Wright and Saunders and whatnot to shoot threes. But I mean, if it's not like BYU runs like this, some immaculate offense that's super pretty and everybody's getting touches and whatnot. It's just like, whoever's hot, let's get them the ball. And I don't think that's going to work against Houston here. And not to mention the fact that, like I've talked about many times, that Houston with Kingston Fleming, it continues to get better, and he is the absolute X factor. And I know that Debanza is very good, but Kingston Fleming is very good himself and can put up buckets and can shoot the three ball almost 40%. He doesn't shoot it a lot, but he's more than capable of it. So I will be betting Houston first half when the lines come out, but it would only be Houston for me. I just need to see it from BYU. I don't trust this team right now.
Yeah, I can't disagree with anything you said. I want to bet BYU, but it's just because I like the team. I can't sit here and be like, yeah, +1. This BYU should be favored here. I don't feel like I really believe that. Spoon, what do you think of the number here?
Toast, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, if it matters to you, Sauce, Houston beat BYU twice last year by 51 combined points, so maybe there's a little revenge for the Cougars. I was kidding. Go ahead, Spoon.
This is a really good game. I would like BYU to be playing better basketball than they are. I want to back Houston here, but I feel like I'm doing it at a bad price if I press it now. I feel like I should be able to get them as a dog on the road. And BYU, this is a really good home atmosphere that BYU has to offer. And Houston is a good basketball team. I think defense really travels, and I think BYU's best chance is to get a friendly home whistle, and that's one that is going to be calling a lot of fouls, because Houston plays physical defense, and if you're going to call a lot of fouls on Houston, you're going to also have to do that on BYU, and that's not something BYU's roster can handle. This team plays 6 to 7 players every single game. I think if best case scenario there is a friendly whistle, it's going to also hit BYU, and if this team has to hit the bench and playing players that are uncomfortable out there on the court versus the Houston defense, it's going to get really ugly. I can only get there with Houston. What's keeping me off it is just the 3 straight losses for BYU here. This is still a really good basketball team. Has a couple NBA players on the roster. Nice home atmosphere. They can step up. I should be able to get plus money with Houston here, and the fact that I can't means it's just accurately priced. I'm not going to try to attack those lines.
Yeah, this is what I'm looking at with BYU. So I like this team. So I'm going to be very honest. I'm rooting for this team. I think they're a really cool team. I'm going to be rooting for them in March. They've got some NBA.
That Arizona game is completely dressed up. That was a 15-point game before the last minute and a half you hit this.
Right. So you had the game against Arizona, remember, where they were down and they came back in the second half, and they went on like a 12-2 run in the final 90 seconds or some shit. Then you have the game in the Fog where every team in the country is losing that game, by the way. Kansas was 9-11 from 3. Like, they were playing lockdown defense. Any team in the country was losing to Kansas in that game. They would have beat anybody. And by the way, Kansas just went and beat Texas Tech after that. So it's turning out maybe Kansas is kind of nice right now with Peterson. And then you play Oklahoma State sandwiched in between Arizona, Kansas, and Houston, which is like the ultimate flat spot. So I still think BYU is good. I think they've been in the middle of a really unfortunate schedule. You play Arizona, who might be the best team in the country. You play Kansas in the Fog, who I don't know if anyone's beaten Kansas in the Fog right now, the way they've played the last couple games. I think BYU is pretty good. And look, I think I'm going to bet BYU, but I'm probably just doing some gambling. I don't think
Well, I think Spoon mentioned it too. That was another thing I had written down, is that Houston does send teams to the line. And if that's the case, then
BYU attacks the basket.
Huh?
BYU can get to the free throw line. Let's
Yeah,
go.
that's so. I mean, at least they can make them. I don't know if they get there a whole bunch, but
That's something keeping me off this game is Houston's inability to get other teams to foul. That they don't do a good job of it at all. And with a roster like BYU, so it's 7 players. It's only people that he trusts right now. So there's 7 people. The best way to beat BYU is to take 1 or 2 of those people out of the game and force them to put somebody they're not comfortable with in the game. And the reason I haven't gotten there with Houston yet is I don't trust their ability to do that, but they're the better team.
All right, last game on the board, and then we'll call it this marathon episode here. San Francisco St. Mary's. Toast, take us away with some WEC b-ball.
yeah, I like St. Mary's in this game. I was really trying to get to San Francisco because I don't think that they're as bad as they're kind of made it out to be.
It's a down year for the Dons.
It is a little bit of a down year for the Dons, but St. Mary's already played this team. They beat them by like 15. That game was at home, and that game was in San Francisco. So this game now being at St. Mary's, I think that there's blood in the water now with Gonzaga being down and dealing with injuries and whatnot. Santa Clara is ahead of leading this conference at 11-1, but St. Mary's is 9-2, and there's going to be no nights off for St. Mary's in the next couple of weeks. So they're going to be a team that I'm kind of looking to buy on. I haven't bet it yet, but San Francisco on the road hasn't been a team that I'm trying to back in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, they came through they looked really good against Gonzaga. Who doesn't right now? It would only be St. Mary's for me. I think under 13 is a good play.
Spoon? Any thoughts here?
I really like this San Francisco team, and I was trying to look for a way to back them coming into this game, but I'm not going to fade St. Mary's here. This team is the class of the conference. It's them and Gonzaga. It's been that way for a while, and it's that way for a reason. San Francisco, I had higher expectations at the beginning of the season. They've dropped, and maybe that makes a buy low for them, but it's not something I'm interested in getting involved with. I think St. Mary's handles this game.
All right. So, guys, that's it. There's a UFC video up for those of you that want to see. I had Teller on. We go through the UFC card. Also, the Pump Fake 5 with TV Jones, they're still live right now. So if you want to go check out
everybody in the comments, let's go hit their comment section and just harass TV Jones for the next
Everybody type fade TV Jones.
Yeah, I'm putting the link in. Everyone just hop in to tell him he sucks before you peace out.
Let's see if we can make the entire chat